would be opt-in. Support for the Liberty Beat is brought to you by the Homestead Guru. The Homestead Guru is an educational website offering tips, tools, news, stories, and commentary on everything homesteading. Topics include green homes, gardening, animal husbandry, do-it-yourself, home remedies, alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Regarded by many as one of the fastest rising online personalities today, social media rock star Ryan Wasserman has 250,000 loyal Twitter followers and earns $28,000 a year at his job as an administrative assistant. The Onion spoke to the online luminary at KPL Insurance, where he works from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and makes roughly $13 an hour.
I'm just trying to bring my unique perspective to everybody. That's what my followers expect, and I like to think I deliver.
Wasserman, who currently has $900 in his checking account, regularly engages in conversations with high-profile celebrities and takes the bus to work from the two-bedroom apartment he shares with a 23-year-old he met on Craigslist.
Actually, I just started a Tumblr because sometimes 140 characters just doesn't cut it. I just had a Google Glass tweet that Questlove retweeted again. KPL, this is Ryan. Yeah, I'm sorry, I totally forgot.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Thanks for tuning in. This is Free Talk Live. It is the live Monday night edition. Our toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. With you in the studio tonight, it's myself, the captain.
It's Ian.
And I'm the Warner sister, Dot. No, I'm nobody, actually.
Well, sometimes nobody can be somebody, unless somebody doesn't want to be nobody.
Indeed. Well, why would somebody want to be nobody? I'm already doing that.
Right. But would nobody...
So it's completely unnecessary for somebody else to be nobody.
Would nobody ever want to be somebody, though?
I could have been a contender.
I think nobody is going to be a contender coming up here in the gubernatorial primary.
Gubernatorial election. I'm with you.
I hope so. I agree with your contention.
Well, I mean, you didn't get to speak this weekend at the protest that happened, but that was just because you really weren't feeling it.
Yeah, it just wasn't my day to do that, and I'd rather just not say anything than go up and give a bad speech or be lame.
And you know what I like about that? Like, I distrust, well, politicians in general, and what I always tell people to watch out for is the teleprompters. Because anytime you see anybody giving a speech from a teleprompter, you know that it is laced with the highest quality BS. You know, they've got, the presidential level politicians have executive chef level BS writers who put their speeches together for them. And so if you can't speak about whatever it is you're there to speak about off the cuff, that means it's a bad sign. You're either not knowledgeable enough about it to speak, or you're not comfortable enough, or, you're being directed by, and then it just means you're a puppet.
I don't know. At the national level, given the level of trouble you get for a misstatement, I would be very hesitant to speak without notes or something to
if you don't have haters, you're not doing it right.
Well, it's true. Of course, I wouldn't want anything on a teleprompter that I hadn't written, but there is something to be said for, if you're giving a prepared speech, for having your preparation available to you in case of brain farts.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
But the guys who actually use teleprompters in their speeches, I mean, I would say that, they're not writing their own stuff. It's not a matter of what they think and feel. It's a matter of what the opinion polls told them. But nobody tells the truth.
That is a scientific fact. So I brought a whole bunch of stuff. We probably have too much stuff to get into all of it tonight, but I just want to mention some of the headlines. The 1930s Depression was great, but this one might be greater.
Yay!
That's an article from Stanford Business. We could talk more about that.
That's great.
As a musician, I've got a couple of music-related stories that we can talk about tonight if we have time and the oomph to do so. Since the coronavirus and the government-mandated lockdowns and closings of businesses, one of my favorite things to do in the world, which of course is music, has been wiped off the map. Live music, performance art of any kind, really, including movies and that thing is just...
Except running for governor with a strange name.
Well, okay.
That's performance art.
That is performance art.
Well, Captain, I think that should someone want to go to downtown Keene and do some live music, I think that would be welcome.
I think that would too.
I got your back.
I would welcome
We can bring in a militia
somebody in not the USA has begun something called a drive-in concert. So imagine like a drive-in movie theater, except instead of having a crowd of people, you've got a crowd of cars.
Yeah, but do you get the speakers to put in your car, or do they play it over FM radio?
So they have a short-distance FM broadcaster, so you just tune in
I never
on your car
understood.
radio.
I guess they don't do that at drive-in theaters because they were worried about people not paying. But
yeah, and we could talk more about that. I've also got... recession-proof industry. I spent 20 years in Seattle. There's an ale house called Pyramid Brewing. They were one of the big microbrews, one that grew big.
And now they're ailing?
No, they're dead now.
Oh,
Coronavirus
good God.
has killed
them.
That's
really sick.
This particular location is across the street from both of the sports arenas in downtown Seattle. And it literally depends on people coming in before and after sports events and all the other types of events that go on.
What do you want to bet the rich bastards who own those sports arenas are getting some government money so they don't have to shut those down?
I'm sure it is. But
they already got government money to open them in the first place, so it wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yeah,
May the fleas of 1,000 camels find their tents.
And we've heard, little rumblings here and there about, this restaurant
That's my belly.
Won't open back. Thanks, man. Like this restaurant won't open back up. They're closed, little smaller mom and pops.
Yeah.
But this was one of the larger microbrews in Seattle, has closed its doors permanently. So I thought that was significant that a big city has had, a major brewery, shut down. So,
although if you're large and you're a microbrewery, is that a problem? Like, do you eventually get too big to be a microbrewery anymore?
I believe they did get bought by a larger brewery, but then they were allowed to sort of just maintain their size. So whatever they grew to, they weren't going to grow any bigger. But they were.
Can you go smaller? Are there nano breweries
in New Hampshire? There are.
Yeah, in New Hampshire, a nanobrewery is a form of a license where you can brew up to, I don't remember how many gallons, hundreds of gallons per year.
It was the Free Staters who actually worked on that bill. The guys from Area 23.
Oh yeah, was that was a Kevin thing?
I think it was both of those guys.
Okay, yeah. Cool.
So I looked into that.
I know he worked on that issue for years.
I considered that as a potential business pre-coronavirus, and we'll see what happens. I've also got this story. If you thought 2020 was off to a bad start, well, it might be even worse. This is from Gizmodo.com. Great. Now invasive murder hornets are a thing to worry about.
Okay, from the whole world to 2020, I'd just like to say, wrong hole.
Yeah. And then I also have another story about, again, musically related. I said I had two stories that were related to music. I've got this one about Woodstock, the concert that changed the face of music, really.
I heard about that.
Everybody. Yeah, it happened before I was born, but it apparently occurred during an H2N3 pandemic. And so this article
is that
compares,
like 3 times as bad as H2N1?
I found that weird too, but I was like, yeah, it seems like they number them backwards or something. I don't know how that works. I don't know how they determine.
Of course, they used to call diseases foot and mouth disease. So,
but the point here is that people weren't freaking out about the pandemic.
It compares what the government has done now versus what the government did then, and it is quite the contrast. So we could talk more about that. I wanted to
imagine going down in history as worse than Nixon. It was Nixon in office during Woodstock, wasn't it?
I believe so.
No wonder people loved it. Took the brown acid.
Yeah.
Don't take the brown acid, bro.
Actually, I know a guy who claims to have eaten, or I'm sure he's dead by now, but he claimed to have eaten the brown acid and not had any problem with it until they said, don't eat the brown acid. And then he drove himself crazy for the rest of the concert, tried to figure out why. But other than that, it was a good trip.
Oh, my goodness. So this article about the giant murder hornet starts with, hey, 2020, can you chill for like 5 minutes? Now on top of a literal pandemic and nearly unparalleled global economic unrest, it seems you'll need to add murder hornets to the list of reasons to lose sleep these days. If you
somebody panic.
Right. If you want to split hairs, technically they're Asian giant hornets, but these flying nightmares have chalked up several colorful monikers such as yak killers, the giant sparrow bee, and, oh, dear God, someone burn it with fire. Though that last one might have just been the author's reaction upon seeing these real-life creatures.
You think maybe Asia's mad at us?
It's because
they've been, there's been a lot of things coming out of Asia that have been an issue.
Where's Chuck Norris when you need him, right? Yeah. Anyway,
is there a problem with the youth in Asia, maybe?
Youth in Asia, yeah, nice. And we're here to, of course, take your calls, your thoughts. You're free to call in about whatever you want to. Take control of the airwaves. Our toll-free number here is 855-450-3733. Again, that's 855-450-3733. We'll have more for you coming up. This is Free Talk Live.
Do you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Now with AnyPay, you earn passive income for every purchase at those businesses. Finally, a financial incentive to spread Bitcoin Cash and Dash. You made it happen, so you get the rewards. Download the AnyPay Cash Register app and add your cryptocurrency wallet addresses. Then install it at a real-life business and tell us what you did at anypayinc.com. anypayinc.com.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
You've seen crazy diets to lose weight. At GCN Team, our healthy body weight loss system simply neutralizes the body, bringing down cravings. It has been proven that nutritional deficiencies drive appetite for carbs, sugars, and fats. Lose weight the easy way. Find us at GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. Fighting cravings is a fool's game. Give the body what it needs to be satisfied. Again, 877-87.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and our main feed that includes everything. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live, the live Monday night edition. Our toll-free number here, of course, is 855-450-3733. That's 855-450-FREE, as in freedom. You can also get us on our Discord server at discord.lrn.fm, where we've got a whole bunch of chat rooms, including an on-air chat room. And if you do pipe in there, you can sound almost as if you're in the studio with us.
All hail Discordia.
And speaking of the studio, with us tonight, it's
Ian.
And nobody.
And I am your host, the Reverend Captain Kickass. We teased a whole bunch of articles, and we were starting to get into this one about the giant murder hornets, apparently, that have found their way into the United States. So some not-so-fun facts about them. Their venomous stings kill roughly 50 people every year in Japan.
Damn.
They feed by ripping the heads off of bees and flying their decapitated carcasses back to their young. And though they're native to southeastern and eastern Asia, hence the namesake, recently they've begun popping up in Washington state and Canada. Scientists still don't know why. Yeah.
I mean, the weather in Washington state is awful, for one thing. I wouldn't be going there, but...
It certainly is different from, Japan, right? The weather, annually is significantly different there. I would imagine. I've never been to Japan, so I can't speak from experience. But
well, I'm told that in Japan it does sometimes stop raining,
whereas in Washington it does not.
It's true.
It does stop raining. The rain there is a constant. It's more like a drizzle that just goes on all the time. Like you can comfortably.
That's constant.
Yeah, you can comfortably walk around without an umbrella in Seattle anyway, most of the time when it's raining. Whereas like here on the East Coast or the Midwest, or where we have like thunderstorms where there's torrential downpours, like you can't do what you do in Seattle and just go walk around in it and just get kind of damp.
Right.
Like I spent 22 years in Seattle. I never used an umbrella. I've used an umbrella in New Hampshire 3 times since I've been here, and I've not even been here a full year yet.
According to the National Vital Statistics System here in the United States, there were approximately 1,100 deaths from hornet, wasp, and bee stings between 2000 and 2017, which averages out to about 62 deaths per year. But that's in the entirety of the United States, which is obviously a lot larger than just Japan. So you're saying these hornets have killed 50 people in a year in Japan? Is that right?
That is what it says.
Okay, so they may be a little more deadly than your typical wasp.
Oh, they're a little more than a little more deadly. There's something out of a monster cartoon with this huge yellow-orange face, says Susan Kobe, a bee breeder with Washington State University Department of Entomology, in a recent statement. It's a shockingly large hornet, added Todd Murray, an entomologist and invasive species specialist, also with the university. It's a health hazard and, more importantly, a significant predator of honeybees. Now, they'll talk about this a little bit. We already know that bees are kind of in trouble.
Yeah,
their populations have been dwindling, and the last thing they need is another predator, to help that population dwindle even more. So Asian giant hornets can decimate entire beehives in a few hours using their, quote, mandibles shaped like spiked shark fins, unquote, per a weekend New York Times report. As if bees, a notoriously threatened species, didn't have enough to worry about already, with that humans quickly driving them towards extinction. Last winter, locals in a different part of Washington's Whatcom County spotted a handful of dead specimens. Authorities later learned that another hornet had been spotted across the Canadian border in White Rock, British Columbia that November, and an entire hive was discovered and exterminated on Vancouver Island before that. Washington State.
That's probably why they're mad.
You bastards! Washington State verified a total of 4 reported sightings in December, according to The Guardian. Officials sent several specimens to be analyzed by a lab in Japan where scientists confirmed they were indeed Asian giant hornets. However, inexplicable that may be.
You could tell by their cameras.
Oh, God. Will you take a picture? Adding to the mystery, the lab found that the hornets from Whatcom County and Vancouver Island were unrelated, indicating that the species had been introduced in at least 2 separate incidents. So,
wow.
Yeah, it's completely mind-boggling. And
if they keep getting introduced, sooner or later they're going to remember each other.
Yeah.
You're on it tonight.
We could talk a
We
little.
can't say what I'm on, though.
We could talk a little bit more about the giant murder hornets, but first, let's go to some of your calls.
I mean, what else is there to say?
And
I'm
that's,
not going to
that's
stop
what they
going
call
outside.
That's what they call it when they gather 3 crows together. It's a murder of crows.
That's true. They do
2
call it.
crows is just attempted murder.
I mean, okay, you asked. So the discovery comes with terrifying implications. The hornet's queen can grow up to 2 full inches long, and their stings deliver potent venom that can be comparable to that of a venomous snake bite if you're unlucky enough to get attacked by a swarm. Unlike bees, they can jab you multiple times using stingers nearly the length of a hypodermic needle.
Well, I mean, maybe these things more likely to swarm, because I don't think I've ever in my entire lifetime seen a swarm of any kind of wasp or hornet or bee. They're almost always out floating around by themselves, doing whatever thing they're doing, building a nest or
the article doesn't talk about their swarm factor.
It's definitely a story that's going to get people to click, because they've also got these like close-up photos of these things, and they look very, very intimidating, right?
Yeah. If you just search giant murder hornet, you'll see that these are some ugly bastards.
And so they're more dangerous than your typical hornet, but I mean, your typical hornet's probably going to ruin your day, if you get stung by one anyway. So I gotta say, I'm not going to stop going outside because there's a chance that a murder hornet's going to be around.
Shouldn't we lock down the whole country?
Right.
I mean, based on government's reaction to things like the coronavirus, we can never be too sure. But
get one of those rackets, man. Those things are great. Just knock them right away.
What about the salt shotgun?
I don't know if that's going to have an effect on something this large, but it would be interesting to try it and find out. You may just end up making him mad.
Yeah, and then get stung. That'd be bad. All right, let's go to some of your calls and your thoughts. We have Steve listening on 96.7 in Arkansas. Steve, you're on Free Talk Live.
Afternoon, guys. How are you?
Hey, what's
Pretty
on your
good,
mind?
Steve. What's going on?
Well, I mean, first of all, you need a regular shotgun for those things. Assault shotgun's not going to do anything.
Not going to do
and
it.
I kind of feel like we're reading Genesis here with 2020, or Exodus. I mean,
the plagues,
we
right?
we got the plagues, and I just wonder what's next.
Well,
to me, hornets are close enough to locusts.
Probably the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse or something, right?
Well, there you go. No, I was going to call. You were talking about the effect this has had on music, and I just got an email today that my Journey concert in June was canceled, and
Oh, so you literally had to stop believing.
Damn.
Yeah, it's a sad day.
The wheel in the sky stopped turning.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But no, my son's in a band. He's going to be 18 soon, and his band is. They've actually gotten a record deal, and they're about ready to sign it. But the label is. I mean, nothing's happening right now.
Hang on, if you don't mind, because I'm curious to what this guy thinks about this drive-in concert story that Captain, you and I both brought in tonight.
Yeah, hold on the line, Steve.
Hold on.
We'll be back in just a moment. This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE, like freedom. Give us a call.
Got shaving irritation? Shave Secret shaving oil can help stop it. Shave Secret doesn't cost much and is an all-American product. My name is Chuck Howard, and I developed Shave Secret and pioneered its use starting back in 1991. Ingrown hairs drove me nuts for years. Shaving oil changed all that. Why put up with ingrown hair, bumps, red rash, nicks, and cuts? Shave Secret provides men and women with what we believe is the best shave ever. Our proprietary blend of 100% natural base and essential oils plus a hint of menthol was designed to help eliminate shaving irritations like ingrown hairs, bumps, red rash, nicks, and cuts. We'll lose those shaving irritations. Available at Super Walmart, H-E-B, Wegmans, Giant Eagle, Discount Drug, Navy and Marine Exchanges, Amazon, and ShaveSecret.com. Use the code FTL for Free Talk Live and get a discount. Shave Secret, the best shave ever.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project early movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. What if you want to hear the latest episode of Free Talk Live, but all you have is your phone? You forgot to download our archive, and you have no data connection. You can call our Listen line at 641-793-0191. That's a long-distance number, so you may incur charges. If not, listen as long as you want. 641-793-0191. The Free Talk Live Listen line, 641-793-0191.
If you're looking for work, it's a process of elimination, and you're trying not to be eliminated. So here's a tip for making the cut, and this might seem subtle, but to the person interviewing you, it's not. There is a world of difference between applicants who convey, "I need a job," and those who simply ooze, "I want to work," especially in these lean times when many you're competing with will seem desperate in "I'll take anything" mode. If you convey specific interest in this job at this company, you will be conspicuous. Thus, the value of going to school on the company you're applying to before the interview. With money and attention so tight now, effective communication skills have never been more important. For more tips for job seekers and everyone else, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
Yes, this is Free Talk Live, the live call-in radio show where you can take control and talk about whatever you want. Our toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom, That's 855-450-3733. We'll get to your calls and your thoughts in just a moment, but I wanted to let you know that Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposits, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. That's local.bitcoin.com. And so we've been talking about this article that I pulled up from Gizmodo about these murder hornets, giant murder hornets from Asia. And we were talking with a caller, Steve, and he mentioned that his son is in a band. And so we wanted to get his opinion right quick about this other article that I brought in about which one?
Drive-in.
The drive-in
concerts.
So
apparently
Steve,
it's happening in Denmark?
Yeah, Steve, have you heard of this?
Well, not until you read the article. And I mean, it sounds like, I guess, an alternative is sitting on your rear end at the house, but it's, part of being at a concert is, being around people.
Yeah, it's not just being around people, but being able to be affected by the energy of that crowd, having people in close proximity, having the music, whatever it is we're talking about, whether it's, heavy metal or whatever it is you like, having that music playing over the crowd, in energizing that crowd, and the feeling that that you get from that. I don't think you're going to get any of that from sitting in a car in what is essentially a glorified parking lot with a stage somewhere in the distance.
Yeah.
I mean, depending on what kind of music you listen to, like I go to shows where there's mosh pits.
Yeah.
And what are you going to have a
demolition derby?
A demolition derby in the parking lot. I mean, yeah, that sounds fun, but it sounds a little
It
dangerous.
does sound fun.
It sounds really pricey.
But no, I got a buddy that, his band had a tour in Australia they had to cancel.
Yep.
Jeez. This shit. And most musicians, as you know, Captain Kick-Ass, are probably just servers or working at restaurants or, they're doing the music thing. They don't have real, it's a real job, but you know what I mean? They don't have jobs where, they can stay open during this thing. I mean, everybody's shutting down.
Yep.
They can't work. They can't play shows. They can't, you can't get unemployment for what you would do as a band.
Right.
So, a lot of my friends here, and I'm big into supporting local music, and we have a lot of bands in the area. And some of the concert venues that are here are not coming back. They've announced that they're not coming back.
Yeah, it seems to be going around.
So anyway, it's affecting way more than just certain areas. I mean, this is broad reaching.
Yeah.
And we just got an email today at work. I got a package in the mail full of masks that my employees have to wear masks now.
Ridiculous.
At work all the time, and I'm like, all it does is fog my glasses up.
Where do you work, if you don't mind? Can you say the industry?
I work for a car dealership, and we have 148 dealerships in 12 states.
Now, is this corporate that's decided this, or is this the state that's saying you must do this?
Well, here's the deal. Most of our lots didn't have to close. Now, there were a couple states. Our lots in Kentucky had to close. Some of our lots in Missouri had to close for a while. And some of this phase one reopening, you have to wear masks. Well, we didn't have to wear masks the whole time, and now all of a sudden we're still open, but now they want us to wear masks. I mean, kind of like putting a condom on after you knock somebody up.
Right.
In my opinion,
it's government here. Have some.
Yeah. Anyway.
Now, didn't you tell us before that you were like the owner of this chain, or you just work for?
No. I'm the general manager at my location.
I see. Okay. I see. Okay.
So I'm the manager of that, much like a Walmart store manager.
Have you considered this? So Aria DeMezzo, one of our co-hosts here, she has told her so she works for a pizza chain, a franchise, and she told the franchise owner that she has a religious objection to wearing the mask, and she is allowed to not wear the mask as a result of that. So there's both a potential religious objection as well as a medical objection. You can say that you have a medical condition that prohibits you from wearing the mask, and no one is allowed to ask you what that is because you have medical privacy.
I could, and I could also play my family's from Lebanon, so I could say I fear for my life because somebody might think I'm a terrorist.
Well, plus I've heard it's just not a good thing to have these masks on in general. I mean, you are restricting your airflow and you're restricting the amount of oxygen that can get to you.
Yeah, and it's just uncomfortable. If you wear glasses, it clogs your glasses up.
Yep.
I'm one of those guys that just let me do my thing. I'm going to be respectful.
Yeah. It's
Are they specific, though? Do they tell you what kind of mask you have to wear? Because you could get one of those masks that they wear for Mardi Gras that just like cover your eyes and have a couple of feathers sticking
or
up.
like the not Batman, but just the Robin.
Covered.
Right? Yeah.
Usually it's described as a cloth mask.
I'm sorry.
What's funny is they sent us this package, and it looks like someone just took a T-shirt and cut them out, and there's slits to loop over your ear. I mean, there's not. It's just it's like 100 count thread count sheets or something.
It's
like
all just for show.
Yep.
It's just for show. It's just to get people to think that, we at this dealership, we care. And I think this needs to have some pushback. I think it needs to have pushback from people within business because most people are going to do what they're told. So that's why it's so hard to push back against this.
Well, I've already spoken to my HR representative and my area operations manager about my disdain for it. And
nice.
There's not a person at my lot that was excited about this news.
Yeah,
I can't imagine. I have 14 employees.
And I would tell everybody, hey, if you've got a religious objection or a medical objection, as far as I'm concerned, restricted breathing is a valid medical objection. And again, you aren't supposed to, you don't have to tell anybody if they ask you, well, what's your medical reason? You don't have to tell them. That's private. Right. That's none of their business. So that'll kill it right there.
All right, Steve, thanks a bunch for the call, man. You have a good night, all right? Let's just continue the fun and move right along. Let's go to Steven, who's calling in on our Discord live call-in airline. Steven, are you there?
Yeah, I hope my Raspberry Pi doesn't crash. It doesn't like Discord.
Well, you sound pretty good. So what's on your mind?
It's funny to think about the idea of cars in a drive-in. I mean, we're doing that at my church currently, but it's like, how in the world are you going to cheer? Do you just honk your horn?
Well, now, what does it look like when you do this at the church? Do they have an FM transmitter inside the church and people tune in?
Yeah. Well, what it is we broadcast.
What do you do when you stand up
to
sing a hymn, though?
Oh, okay. So how it works is we have a parking lot facing in the south of the church, and we just play outside, and everybody just tunes in with their car and watches us. I suppose somebody could stand out their sunroof if they wanted to, but we haven't had that yet. So.
Now, what are they using to transmit this? Is it like an illegal transmitter?
No, it's just like one of those cheap ones you used to be able to get at Radio Shack. It does not go very far.
Yeah, I was going to say, I would be
the
concerned you
short
could even
range.
cover the entire parking lot of a large church with something like that. They're very, very weak.
Yeah, they are. What I was going to call in about, though, was the 2020 presidential election, interestingly enough.
What's new?
What's new? Well, you guys probably covered this already, but Justin Amash, it looks like he's probably going to seek the Libertarian Party nomination.
Caught in Amash.
And,
I believe he has announced that he is seeking the Libertarian Party nomination.
So far, it's only an exploratory committee.
Oh, really?
He hasn't filed yet. Yeah.
Well, don't they pick the nominee like this month?
If the convention goes as planned.
What's the latest on that?
We don't know what's going to happen yet. The thing is, I'm actually a candidate for the LNC right now, so
that's
we
the
don't
Libertarian
know yet.
National Committee.
Yeah. And we're unsure. But as far as Amash goes and the impact, I had more on that. But if I had to go, that's good.
You want to hang on, stay over for the next segment?
Sure.
All right, hold the line. 855-450 free, like freedom. If you want to give us a call, give us your thoughts. We've got more coming up, more on the Murder Hornets, too. This is Free Talk Live.
Houseflies defecate every 4 to 5 minutes, spreading diseases and germs. Protect your food and your health with Bug Assault, a miniaturized shotgun, which utilizes ordinary table salt as ammunition. Non-toxic, no batteries required, only $39.95. Use discount code GCN and get an extra 10% off your purchase at bugassault.com. Fire your fly swatter. Get your Bug Assault today.
This is a Corona Crisis Self-Reliance Alert. If you're worried about the power grid in the current crisis and want to generate your own supply of off-the-grid electrical power, just in case, pay close attention. Here's why. A limited supply of solar backup generators will be available again in the next 2 weeks. These emergency backup systems provide life-saving electrical backup power when you get off the grid. And unlike gas generators, these solar generators run quietly, emit no fumes, and produce an endless supply of free electricity from the sun. Dangerous weather, social unrest, or overloaded grids this summer will not be a problem if you go to mysolarbackup.com and get your solar backup generator. We regret that supplies are limited and only available on a first-come, first-served basis. Check availability at mysolarbackup.com. Never suffer painful power outages again. Go to mysolarbackup.com. That's mysolarbackup.com.
Are you afraid to go to the mailbox because of letter after letter from the IRS? Are they stacking on more and more penalties and interest? By now, you know the problem won't go away on its own. Don't let the IRS chase you to your grave with penalties and interest and liens and levies. You need real help now. I'm Dan Pilla. I wrote the book on tax debt settlement, and I help thousands of people solve tax problems they thought couldn't be solved. I can help you too. Call 800-34-NO-TAX or go to my website, danpilla.com. That's danpilla.com. danpilla.com.
Free Talk Live.
This is what petty bureaucrats do. They protect their turf. And if you can tell me the operable difference between governments, city, state, federal, whatever they might be, and the most successful gang in a given area, I'd love to hear the difference. I just don't know what the difference is. Yes, government has a funny way of appointing its dons.
Elections.
But that's really it. That's all I can come up with. It's a gang that's figured out, hey, if we let people participate, if they have a vote, that is statistically an insignificant fact that they have a vote, but we let them have one, then they'll feel like they're part of us, and then they can do whatever they want. They cannot pave a road for 43 years and then have everybody claim that without the government we wouldn't be able to pave roads.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
Yes, it's the live Monday night version of Free Talk Live. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And we'll be taking your calls and your thoughts. With you in the studio tonight, it's myself. I am the Reverend Captain Kickass. And joining me,
I'm Ian.
And I'm Nobody.
And I want to tell you about Intercoin and their work on helping folks with community and loyalty. Intercoin's team has spent the last decade helping communities release apps to unite their members and coordinate social activity. Now communities can release currencies to coordinate economic activity. They represent a soft but voluntary power, encouraging people to spend currency on local goods and services that accept it, or to support the community with small fees when cashing out unused coins. Towns already do this to battle globalism, and festivals can create an extended online community that transacts on their own year-round. Intercoin is attempting to regain some of our freedoms that are threatened on the internet and in meat space. We think that this is important here on Free Talk Live, so important that Free Talk Live accepted $40,000 worth of Intercoin tokens from Intercoin Inc. for advertising. If you think freedom is important too, check out Intercoin at intercoin.org. You can invest in this project and potentially make big gains, or just be involved and perhaps shape its future. That's intercoin.org. So moving right along, well, we actually were talking with Stephen, who is joining us on the Discord line. Stephen, are you still with us?
Yeah.
All right. So you were talking about the Libertarian Party, and it sounds like you had some things to say that we didn't get to. Go ahead.
Yeah, when it comes to Justin Amash's candidacy, it seems like there's a lot of enthusiasm from day one. And I'm running for vice chair of the LNC right now, and I've been attacked because I have major concerns with his candidacy and his ability to do as well as even Gary Johnson did.
Now, Justin Amash is a current seated representative in the U.S. House of Representatives from Michigan. A lot of people seem to think he's fairly libertarian. You're saying he's inferior to Gary Johnson?
No, I'm saying he's not going to do as well as Gary Johnson.
Why?
I don't. The reason being is, like, in 2016, well, the reason Gary Johnson seemed to do fairly well in 2012 was the Ron Paul effect. I don't think anybody doubts that. But in 2016, it was
I thought it was a Gary Johnson effect.
In 2016, it was because of never Trump Republicans, it seemed to be across the board. Because here's why. A lot of these never Trump Republicans were actually in favor of Donald Trump, but they didn't want to admit to it probably, and they held themselves to higher principles because they thought he was going to lose. And when he lost, they didn't want to have the ball in their court because they would look like jerks. Now that Trump is president, he seems to be legitimized, and I think the concept of the never Trump Republican is dead because his approval ratings within his own party are sky high. And I don't think Justin Amash can actually capture the voting bloc that is actually up for grabs right now, which is the progressives. Now, I think somebody like Vermin Supreme could. I think Vermin Supreme could easily round up a lot of the Bernie bros and bring them into the libertarian camp, but I don't think Justin Amash can even come close to doing that. So I think his actual performance is going to be very poor, probably sub 1%.
I know and like Vermin, and I have been supporting him for the nomination. My slogan for him is "Why Vermin Supreme? Because screw your system. That's why."
I support Vermin as well.
But the issue that I have with those Bernie bros is, I've met them. They hate me. They want nothing to do with me because I'm not a communist, and I'm not going to become a communist, and I don't want the Libertarian Party to become a communist party. So the question is, what do we do with these Bernie bros once we've got them?
They are easy to bring over to our side, and here's why.
These guys are dumb as
listen. No, here's why. Libertarian philosophy originated from the left-wing thinkers, right? And you can live in a voluntary society and still operate as a socialist. I'm what you would consider a leftist libertarian socialist type. And these individuals are simply concerned about the system that is stomping on mostly minority individuals.
Right, but now they want to institute a system that's bigger and more powerful and can stomp on you more effectively.
Because they haven't been educated enough. They have the right heart. They want to see people live better, but they've been misled by Bernie Sanders, who's not really a socialist. He's more like a sock.
Well, they've been misled by the school system. They've been misled by the communist unionized teachers of the school system, and I don't know if we can undo all of that indoctrination in short order.
Surely you can capture a good percentage of them to bring the Libertarian Party to better general election numbers. I don't think anybody's actually taking seriously. Like, there was this really dumb article saying Amash could get like 117 electoral votes. Yeah, keep dreaming. Nobody thinks we're going to win the election. But if we could at least
okay, don't speak for me.
What do you mean?
I'm nobody. And I have not made that statement.
I think he also called you Shirley a minute ago.
Oh, that's my mother.
Oh, okay.
I always forget. I always forget that. Sorry about that, man.
That's okay. Nobody actually cares.
I think that Justin Amash's candidacy is very dangerous, but I do think he's going to get the nomination, and here's why.
Because he's a former Republican, and that's who's gotten the nomination the last
Well,
12
not
years.
because he's a
The
former Republican, because he has the political credibility of actually being an office holder right now. And there's something to be said for that in the mind of the general public. So I'm on the fence. I mean, I will support either Vermin or Amash if and when they're duly nominated. I still lean toward Vermin because I think the statement of your system is a joke, so the best we can do is make it a funny one. I think that's a good statement, but I'm not strongly opposed to Amash. Let's put it that way. I think they're both good men who come from very different directions. And I would like to see. I wish we could split the party so they could each be our nominee.
This is, but the thing is, this is how the LNC thinks. Oh, that guy's been in office before, and people really hate politicians. So why don't we give them a presentable politician?
Wow, is that your Kermit the Frog impression?
It's better than my Elmo impression.
All right. Thanks for the call tonight, Stephen. We do appreciate it.
Did he say I love Daryl W. Perry? I couldn't quite make that
I'm
out.
pretty sure that's what he said. Yeah.
Okay.
Good ear. And Gene, you're with us.
Apparently, he's still listening on another device.
Hey, Gene.
Don't do that.
Gene.
I'm here.
Yeah. There's some squeal kind of thing going on.
It has stopped.
Oh.
No, it hasn't.
That's probably a fan.
Okay.
You mean like a person who enjoys the show, or like a device that blows air
and badly needs oil?
Oh boy, that room is even worse.
Yeah, it sounds
so
really
this
bad.
room has got too much noise in
just
it.
Put him on hold, and then we can come
Yeah,
back.
we'll come back to you, Gene.
It wasn't there when you screened him?
No, it was not there at all. That's he sounded great, actually. So while we're waiting for Gene to reorient, let's go to James in Boulder County, Colorado. He's listening on Twitch. James, you're on Free Talk Live. Yes, hello.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
What's on your mind, James?
Well, yeah, we were talking about masks earlier. I just want to say, I'm a dump truck driver working on an airport right now. I sit in the truck by myself 10, 12 hours a day.
Mm-hmm.
I get out to the restroom. That's about it. Yet I have to wear a mask in my truck while I'm on the job site.
Oh, you're kidding.
But I'm hold on. I'm going to have to unplug. I got my headphones on. So.
Okay. No worries.
Maybe the connection will be a little bit better.
He did sound like he was on like a speakerphone or something.
Are you still with us, James?
Is that better?
Yeah, that is a lot better, actually.
Yeah, that's a lot better. So you drive a dump truck and you have to wear a mask even though it's just you in the truck?
Yeah.
And who makes these rules? Where do these come from?
Well, what is it? The governors and mayors, you got to wear a mask in public and all that. I think that actually came down from the main contractor on that job. Well, they told me that I couldn't actually come to the job for 2 weeks. I had to take 2 weeks off because I come from out of state to work that job. They literally paid me $3,000 to sit at home for 2 weeks.
Huh. So you think this is a state of Colorado mandate that is being put on the company, and they're just doing what they're told?
Well, the job I'm working on is in Missouri.
Oh, in Missouri. Okay.
I live, but I travel for work. I do soil remediation, contaminant.
Well, I would say it's a medical necessity that you not wear a mask.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to get out, that might be a good way to do it.
I mean, the N95 they're not providing masks, yet we have to wear one. The N95 mask is the only one that can really protect you from the virus, but these guys are wearing bandanas or these just paper masks, which,
and you're just sitting in a damn truck.
Collect the virus.
There's more coming up here.
Thanks, James. Thanks for the call tonight.
Remember when you first heard about Bitcoin? How long did it take you to realize this little project would soon change the world? Do you kind of wish you had gotten involved sooner? Well, now is your chance to be a part of the next revolution in money. Intercoin is working to finally make crypto go mainstream. It's designed to be scalable enough to support everyday payments and even elections without the state. Bitcoin was originally supposed to be a peer-to-peer cash system, the way we would all pay one another. without having to trust any third party. But instead, over time, it mostly became a store of value. That's because every 10 minutes, the Bitcoin network must put all transactions into a block, and that block can only hold so much. If crypto is to become mainstream, for people to use it for everyday payments, we need a new architecture, one that is as secure as Bitcoin, while being far more scalable. Check out intercoin.org to find out more, and maybe pick up some of those coins for yourself.
I spent some time in Chicago when I was like 13.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,711, silver at $14.84, and Bitcoin is trading around $8,860. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/free kratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, newly released FBI documents suggest that Israeli government officials were in contact with the 2016 Trump presidential campaign and offered critical intel. According to Mint Press News, in one of the extensively redacted documents, an official who appears to be an Israeli minister warns that Trump was, quote, going to be defeated unless we intervene, end quote. He goes on to tell a Trump campaign official, quote, the key is in your hands, end quote. The previously classified documents were released in response to a lawsuit brought by the Associated Press, CNN, the New York Times, Politico, and the Washington Post. The unsealed documents suggest that, rather than Russia, it was Israel that covertly interfered in the election. While the media companies, except one, seem to have ignored the apparent Israeli connection revealed in the FBI documents, Israeli media have been quick to jump on it. Ever wonder where we find all the news to report right here on the Liberty Beat? Visit snls.news to get the world's most censored media published all in one place. Save yourself from the endless time spent searching for reliable alternative media. SNLS News makes it quick and easy. No ads, no clickbait, just raw headlines, 24 hours a day. Visit snls.news and get informed today without the corporate media spin. Your news now continues. A disturbing video began making its way around social media over the weekend after it showed a cop punching and attacking a man over an alleged social distancing violation. The New York Police Department cop has been placed on modified duty since the video went viral. The Free Thought Project reports the video showed a raging NYPD cop charging at bystanders on a Manhattan street with a taser in his hand. As the video shows, NYPD officers were involved in a violent arrest of a man and woman outside of a store. The police say the man was getting arrested for improperly social distancing. According to Pix11, a group of people were standing on the corner of Avenue D and East 9th Street around 5:30 p.m. when officers told them to leave, according to an NYPD spokesperson. Most of the group complied, but some remained on the corner. When the remaining stragglers failed to disperse, that's when police became violent. As both countries prepare to start unwinding the strict nationwide lockdowns imposed more than 6 weeks ago, the UK and France are collaborating on a new voluntary surveillance app, purportedly designed to help with contact tracing for coronavirus patients. The Evening Standard reports ministers from both countries have been liaising on the development of the new technology, which is expected to be ready within 2 or 3 weeks. Activist Post asks, why are the two allies collaborating on building their own surveillance app instead of adopting a model proposed by Apple or Google? According to the report, apparently British officials felt Apple's treatment of user privacy was too cautious. The app will use Bluetooth to collect data from the phones of everybody one passes. Should one of them test positive, a user will be notified. Matthew Gould, head of the unit at the NHS that's in charge of developing the app, has said the location tracking feature would be opt-in. Support for the Liberty Beat is brought to you by the Homestead Guru. The Homestead Guru is an educational website offering tips, tools, news, stories, and commentary on everything homesteading. Topics include green homes, gardening, animal husbandry, do-it-yourself, home remedies, alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
From Betty Davis's first role as a piece of chocolate cake in the 1931 film Palmy Days to the discovery of Niagara Falls in 1996, The Onion looks back at this week in history. On May 16, 1929, the first Academy Awards were handed out in categories such as Greatest Achievement in Blackface, Best Catholic Whipping Scene, and Most Gorgeous Gams on a Broad. The highlight of the night occurred when Wings won the award for Best Picture without a single Dago, Tar Baby, or Wetback. And on May 15, 1940, the first McDonald's opened in San Bernardino, California, back when a young Grimace was just working as a cashier. And that was what happened this week in history. As Martin Luther King Jr. once said, history is actually pretty racist.
This is the Onion News Network.
Yes, it's Free Talk Live. There are live and actual humans performing all the button presses here tonight.
Yep.
And
that's why mistakes happen.
Some of our fine listeners in the Discord channel have been very kind and humane.
No, they haven't.
At pointing. I'm being sarcastic, of course, if you didn't detect a hint of snarkasm. Yes, snarkasm is what I call a portmanteau. That's where you take two words and combine them together and make a brand new word that you immediately know the meaning of. Snarkasm. Let that be your vocabulary lesson tonight on air chat. At any rate, our toll-free number here is 855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And I wanted to tell you about Divvy. The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to spend, earn, store, and exchange digital money in seconds. Divvy says you'll be able to send money around the globe in only a swipe and instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. There's no need to wait, though, as Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with their multi-tiered masternodes, allowing anyone to earn by supporting the Divvy network. When the new Divvy wallet launches because of Divvy's relationship with Western Union, Divvy will be in 200 countries, including the United States. You can learn more at divvyproject.org, D-I-V-I project.org. And before we went to the break, we were speaking with Gene, the Christian anarchist, and he was having some techniculties. Yes, that's another portmanteau. My gift to you, listeners, particularly you Discord bastards. Gene, you sounded much better when I screened you. What's on your mind?
Yeah, I have to call you guys up every now and then and spank you because
What do we do now,
You
Gene?
guys,
Ooh, baby,
you guys
do I have to
fall
pay
for
you?
this. Yep, it's free.
Okay.
You guys keep falling for the same tricks over and over. Murder hornets with needles the size of a hypodermic needle. They're going to come and kill us all and take our babies, and we're all going to die.
I believe this is this giant Asian murder hornets, I believe.
This is the same story we get every 10 years. So before it was the killer bees from South America and blah, 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 how they're going to come and get it.
That turned out to be
It's
John
always-
Belushi.
Yeah, it's always fear, 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 fear. And you can always tell when the media is lying because they're printing things on paper or other
I
media.
don't think I was propagating fear. I'm pretty sure my response to that story, Gene, was that I continue to intend to go outside. So what are you going to do?
Well, that's good. But the story is there. The existence of the story is to scare people into thinking that somehow the government's got to save us from murder hornets. And
was that what the story was saying? I didn't hear anything about that.
Well, that's the bottom line to every story they try to scare us with. We got to be scared so that mommy government can come in and save our little butts.
Oh yeah,
And-
I can see the story from here. It does say I don't think we got to this part, but that officials have teamed up to wage war against the Hornets.
Yep.
And that war is going to cost us a ton of money, and
And it will be
will
probably counterproductive. They'll probably make
and it'll
worse
probably
murder hornets.
It'll probably infringe on our rights in some manner, shape, or form.
Yep.
But we're all gonna lay down and take it because we don't want to get stung by murder hornet.
I bet you I could rewrite this article and substitute every instance of, giant murder hornets with giant murder politicians.
Yeah, why don't they just say the little green men are coming? I mean, they're going to come up with that story one of these days.
According to
and then we have-
Krugman, that's a good idea.
No,
He said that would be good for the economy if people were working hard to prepare for an alien invasion that would never come because it would produce jobs. Of course, what he neglected to realize is that those jobs would produce absolutely nothing that anybody could consume, so they're actually economically destructive.
When you said we're going to lay down and take it, I thought that'd make an interesting parody of Twisted Sister. Instead of we're not
We're
going to take
just
it,
gonna take it.
We'll lay down and take it.
Yeah.
We'll talk to Weird Al about that. I'm sure he can come up with it.
Well, actually, we got Captain Kickass sitting right here.
We'll
so-
like it or fake it.
There you go.
But then again, Captain Kickass has pointed out a myriad of times that people have come to him and said, "Hey, there's a great idea for a song parody." Gave him one line and then walk away like, now you get to do the rest of the work. Thanks.
It's a little more difficult than that, but Anything else you want to share tonight, Gene?
Well, I do love song parodies, so I'd like you to get started on that.
I am working on one. I'll tease it a little bit here. I'm working on, it's actually a dual parody. I don't think it's ever been done before. So I have two separate
like a
songs.
mashup?
No.
Parody
Two
mashup?
separate songs. But I'm going to change their name to the same exact thing, and both songs are going to be about the same subject. But it's two completely different songs. One's a little more of a heavy metal tune. One's more like a classic rock tune. And I'm going to change their name to the same thing, same subject matter, but they're two completely different songs. So I don't think
That'll be confusing.
Yeah, I don't think that's ever been done in parody land. To my knowledge, I've done pretty extensive research.
The last man who
for it.
tried this died.
And I don't recommend trying it at home. It's only a fluke
Kids, don't try this at home.
of vernacular tricks that I was able to pull this off. So, coming soon, Gene, I'll have something for you.
Great. Okay, I'll be listening.
All right. Thanks for the call tonight, Gene. Every now and again, Gene will give us a verbal spanking, and we'll just kind of take it. Right? Nobody.
We're just gonna take it. Yeah, we'll like it or fake it.
Nice. So let's just go ahead and continue the calls. We've got Mike, who's listening on D Live, calling from Pennsylvania. Mike, you're on Free Talk Live.
Yeah, how you guys doing?
What's on your mind, Mike?
Well, I just wanted to touch the topic on everybody that did call about these, Asian giant hornets or whatever. The only thing that really crosses my mind with this is they do attack honeybees, which honeybees it's 1/3 of our food that we eat. The honeybees provide, and 80% of our, everyday.
You go through a
clothing,
lot
stuff
of
like
honey.
that.
Are you a bear?
Yeah, I do keep it. I do store it. That's for
Hey,
sure.
boo-boo.
But
Let's go get some picnic baskets.
it thing about these things is he's right. It's 2013, a long time ago. Yeah, in Asia or somewhere, or Japan, they did kill 42 people and injure over 1,500. But they found they've been supposedly spotting these things for months now. Now only 2 small groups in Washington State, but somebody's following them and tracking them for months, supposedly. Yeah. But the only bad thing, the negative thing on this is that the venom in there, it can destroy red blood cells, and which can result in kidney failure. But it's not likely. We have a lot. Mosquitoes are the deadliest on our planet, in my opinion. Ticks. These new ticks we come out with every year.
You don't see them coming. I mean, at least with a hornet or a wasp or whatever, it's pretty hard to miss those guys because they're noisy, they're loud, large.
And you have to piss them off.
Generally, yeah.
Yeah, ticks you don't. You don't even know where they're coming from.
Nope.
They come from the ground.
Yep. If you're walking through the woods, you better check yourself when you get home because there's a good chance one of them's crawled up your pants.
Yep.
But my whole point of that was, the media does push in any direction whatsoever to get people to look this way or that way, or away from the general point, what's going on. Just as far as Kim, the NK leader, whatever, supposedly had surgery and they didn't know if he made it or he wasn't here or now he's here. He was cutting a ribbon, so forth. But it's kind of funny because the media pushed that, but yet, while that was going on, North Korea actually attacked the United States cyber-wise. And Trump 2 days ago declared another national whatever on our power grid.
Oh, but like a national emergency or something?
Yeah, he signed an executive order that declares foreign cybersecurity threats, U.S. electric systems, and national emergency. But he did sign this. And he did declare a national emergency 2 days ago.
It's an emergency on top of another emergency. Yeah. It's never-ending, cascading emergencies.
Well, my point is that they push you, away from the narrative, and while other stuff's going on in the background.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Hey, thanks for the call tonight, Mike. We appreciate you calling in. It's like you say, they stack the emergencies, and it's, I don't know, I'm tired of it. Are you tired of it? Do you enjoy politicians shoving their will down your throats? Give us a call. Free Talk Live, more coming up.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app, and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit divvyproject.org. divvyproject.org. Free Talk Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio marketing platforms. We strive to have ad packages that cater to advertisers big and small. Contact me today at mark@freetalklive.com to see what we can do for you. mark@freetalklive.com. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. But if you can service a national audience, contact me, mark@freetalklive.com.
I have 2 dogs, Sam and Bailey. Both are golden retrievers. Poor Sam, he was a mess. Always itching. His paws were soaking wet all day from just constant licking. He had bald spots on his back. I just don't like putting shots and steroids into your dog all the time. DINOVITE.com. Dinovite is nutrition. Probably 2 weeks after he started Dinovite, I started seeing great improvements, and today 99% of his issues are non-existent. It's amazing stuff. Since Bailey has been 12 weeks old, he's been a Dinovite dog, and he has 0 issues today. He won't eat his food without Dinovite. When I get out the Dinovite, my dogs actually salivate, like I'm getting them a treat. They drool over it. Dinovite is the best thing you can do for your dog.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
I get my Dinovite from DINOVITE.com.
The political world is a maddening cesspool of corruption and lies. Nobody tells the truth. Nobody keeps campaign promises. Nobody obeys the Constitution. Nobody puts the people first. How can we ever escape this web of tyranny? Vote for nobody.
Hi, my name is Nobody. I'm running for governor of New Hampshire because nobody knows how to live your life better than you do, and nobody deserves that kind of power. I want to put you back in control of your money, your lifestyle, your work, your body, and your life. Nobody should rule you but you. New Hampshire convicts many people of so-called crimes that should never have been prosecuted. If elected, I will pardon every victimless crime in New Hampshire history. This includes drug, gambling, prostitution, gun, and driving offenses. Nobody should have a criminal record when they have not harmed anybody.
Wouldn't it be nice to have nobody telling you what to do? Learn more at electnobody.com. electnobody.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Mouth guitar.
Mouth guitar time.
Whittly, 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 whittly. Whittly, whittly, woo, woo, woo.
Pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I learned from the best, two of the best mouth musicians, mouth guitarists ever, Beavis and Butthead. Beavis and Butthead, yes.
Yeah. Love those guys.
450 free like freedom. We might be having too much fun.
Yeah, I thought you guys were just screwing around, and then I looked at the clock and went, "Oh, they've got their headphones on. We're really on the air.
We're live. What's going on?" 855 450 free like freedom. If you would like to give us a call and let us know what's on your mind, you can take control of the airwaves and talk about whatever you'd like to talk about.
Lots of participation tonight for a Monday.
Yeah.
Thanks for doing that, guys.
We have talked a bit about giant Asian murder hornets. We've talked about a seemingly poor idea of drive-in concerts.
Well, I don't think you've even really expressed yourself on this yet. I mean, somebody brought it up and we kind of got distracted, and I think this is a terrible idea. And I'm not even a performer, you know?
I mean, on one hand,
I'm not even a huge concert goer, but I've been to enough in my time to where I know I would not want to go to this.
So on one hand, I enjoy innovation, right? Mm-hmm. And so somebody went, okay, I'm a performer, and I understand being a performer myself and also having a bunch of musician friends who are also performers, and some of them cross, they're not just musicians, they're also theater people or whatever, right? They've got performance art of different variety, they're dancers and stuff like that. So all of these people, none of them do it professionally, right? Almost none of them.
They do it for the love of the art.
Right, they do it for the love of the art, and they're hurting right now because that's part of who they are as people. Right, they can't go out and perform to even a small crowd. Right?
I didn't go see it, but I saw a headline. I did not go to click on it, but I saw a headline that Metallica played in their homes.
Yeah, and
I don't want to watch that.
Yeah, this has been going on. People have been live streaming from their rehearsal facilities or their backyard or that kind of a thing.
At least if you were live streaming from a rehearsal facility, you should have the whole band there together.
Right.
They had Metallica's guys separated, in each of their own homes, somehow playing. I don't even know how that would work with the delays on the internet. It just sounds like a mess.
Yeah, it would all have to be synchronized to a click track.
I've seen videos of have people doing that.
And then, so what they would have to do is give everybody a click track, right, that's set to the beats per minute of the song, have them all independently play to the click track, not hearing everybody else.
And then mix it later.
And then mix it later, so there's a delay in the broadcast. It's kind of live, right? So it's not like really live. There's probably like, we have a 7-second, 10-second delay.
Maybe it wasn't live. Maybe they
broadcast.
pre-produced it and then aired it.
Yeah, I would imagine they would have something like a couple of minutes, right, from when they're actually playing to the time it hits like your computer screen. Like, I didn't watch it either, but then again, Metallica are a bunch of sellouts. So
yeah, right.
It's in my book anyway.
I don't know. I got irritated at them when they came out against Napster.
That's right. That's when they really jumped the shark.
Really, you guys really haven't made enough money. You're upset that people are listening to their music, to your music more.
Let's make a point. They went after their own fans in that case, right? Because it was their fans who were sharing their music.
Yeah, Lars is a douche, so sorry to anybody who's still humping on Metallica.
Didn't they? Now hold on, Captain. Just to be fair to Metallica, wasn't it just maybe probably no more than 3 years ago, that all of a sudden they came around and they actually released an entire album for free on the internet? Like, they made music videos.
But it wasn't any good.
They made music videos of all their tracks, and I don't know, I played one or two of the tracks, and I thought, yeah, this was pretty, I thought it was fine. I didn't listen to the whole thing or anything like that, but to their credit,
it must have been great.
It took them 20 years or 15 years or whatever to figure it out, but finally they're like, yeah, maybe we should embrace this internet thing. So I'll give them credit. Better to figure it out later than never.
All the works of Shakespeare were produced without any copyright laws on the books.
It's true.
He just wrote them.
Or she.
Yeah, that is a matter of fact. So anyway, you're asking...
I think it was Richard de Vere, actually.
Yeah, I don't know. I've heard a theory that it was a woman, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. So on one hand, you're asking my opinion about these drive-in concerts. On one hand, I enjoy the innovation part, right? Like, here's a guy who goes, well, I got a problem. I'm a performer, and all my gigs are canceled, right? Nobody's going to come to a gig even if I booked one, right? Because nobody wants to be around crowds, or perhaps the government has mandated that they can't have a crowd even in like their home or whatever, that kind of a thing. So I admire the innovation. He solved a problem. He's like, well, okay, if everybody's in their car, then they're technically 6 feet away from each other. And, if I do the mix right and broadcast it over this, short distance FM receiver, people can tune into the, frequency that I give them, and sit in their cars and listen to me play the music. It's probably going to work just fine if you're not a rock and roll band, right? If you're like folk, or you're like a 1 or 2 person, like acoustic set, kind of a thing, or you're a guy with a piano and some vocalists, that'll probably work out great. But rock and roll is meant to be loud, right?
Yeah.
And they've developed entire industries surrounding rock and roll, right? All the amplification and the PA systems, the sound systems, not to mention the lights and the pyrotechnics and all that kind of stuff.
Well, the photos in this article, and you have a different one than I did.
Yeah, mine was from loudwire.com.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking over your shoulder at some of these photos, and it appears that there's a guy on a stage, presumably with some amplifiers up there. I'm not 100% sure about that.
Well, these are monitors in the picture that I'm looking at, so that would be just pointed at him so he can hear what he's doing.
Wasn't there another picture like showing from like outside of the stage? Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I could have sworn I saw a photograph of...
Yeah, so it would be the first
if some of these guys
that one.
If some of the people who go have car stereos like my friends had when we were kids, it could get pretty loud out in the parking lot. And the question is anybody going to be out there like physically putting people back in their cars if they get out and mosh? Because that would be my hope, is that we're going to be able to get out and mosh, and either we won't be noticed, or the people who are enforcing these things will be too scared to approach us because they might get the kung flu.
I mean, that looks like there's speakers on that stage pointed outwards at
it's hard to tell with that
audience.
Particular shot.
But either way, I mean, the energy is completely gone.
Yeah.
It is just totally, it looks so boring. It looks so lame. You've got a live person on the stage, but everything else, it's just all the fun has just been sucked right out of that.
Yeah, it's
gone.
It certainly doesn't.
Isn't that the purpose of government, to suck all the fun out of things?
Yep.
Well,
they did it.
It is, and they have been successful. So to just finish up, yes, I applaud the innovation of this particular guy trying to do something and maybe other people will take it and figure out how to make it better. I don't know.
You couldn't pay me to go to that show.
Yeah, I wouldn't attend one of these just for that
Who
reason.
is it playing?
I have no idea.
Somebody in where was it? Denmark.
It was Denmark, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I probably wouldn't go see it either. I don't even speak Danish.
Aarhus. Aarhus, in the middle of our street. Oh, sorry.
It says popular singer Mads Langer.
Mads Langer.
I've heard that name.
Sounds like a beer.
It does, yeah.
He performed to a sold-out crowd of cars.
Unbelievable.
Who drove into a field where the musician was performing at the newly erected concert stage. 500 tickets was announced just 6 days prior to the event. So, I mean, hooray
it was
for
500
him.
Cars they said he was playing for? So were they like cartoon cars from the movie?
No, actual motor vehicles, nobody. 855-450 free like freedom. If you'd like to call us and get on the air, you can. This is Free Talk Live, and Metallica sucks.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Do you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Now, with AnyPay, you earn passive income for every purchase at those businesses. Finally, a financial incentive to spread Bitcoin Cash and Dash. You made it happen, so you receive the rewards. Download the AnyPay Cash Register app and add your cryptocurrency wallet addresses. Then, install it at a real-life business and tell us what you did at AnyPayInc.com. AnyPayInc.com.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way. You can't do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me.
Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa, hey. Who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today. You ain't going to make it. Wait a minute.
Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable! Why are you running from me?
Because you scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this? Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men
working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
Come on. Yes, it is Free Talk Live, the live Monday night edition. Our toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. If you would like to get on the air and talk about, well, whatever you'd like. It's Free Talk Live, after all. We also have a Discord server over at discord.lrn.fm, and we've got a whole bunch of chatting going on, many different channels over there. And we also have some on-air call-in lines over yonder, so you could sound almost as if you're in the studio with us by utilizing that particular avenue. And with you tonight, it's myself, the captain.
It's Ian.
And nobody.
And we were most recently talking about an innovator who decided to put on a concert where everybody who attended would have to be in cars, so a drive-in concert. And we've had some opinions about that.
Cars to do.
And I thought, yeah, right? I thought it would be a natural segue to talk about something that occurred during Woodstock for our listeners that are under, 30 or so, who might not be all that into music. If you don't know what Woodstock is, it was a festival thrown in
1969?
1968, I think.
Was it 68?
68, yes.
1968. And it literally changed the face of music at the time. And what was interesting to me about this particular article written by Jeffrey Tucker out of the American Institute for Economic Research is that Woodstock occurred in the middle of a pandemic.
What? You mean all those people were in close proximity with one another? During a pandemic?
Not only were they in close proximity, but they were also dancing together. They were eating, sitting down in restaurants together.
And they refused to socially distance themselves from the brown acid.
They certainly did refuse to distance themselves from the brown acid. So Jeffrey Tucker writes, in my lifetime, there was another deadly flu epidemic in the United States. The flu spread from Hong Kong to the United States, arriving December 1968, peaking a year later. It ultimately killed 100,000 people in the U.S., mostly over the age of 65, and 1 million worldwide. Lifespan in the U.S. in those days was 70, whereas it's 78 today. Population was 200 million as compared with 328 million today. It was also a healthier population with low obesity. If it would be possible to extrapolate the death data based on population and demographics, we might be looking at 250,000 deaths today from that particular virus. So in terms of lethality, it was as deadly and scary as COVID-19, if not more so, though we shall have to wait and see. Obviously, the COVID-19 pandemic is not over.
And were they too cowardly to go to work?
Well, let's find out. In 1968, says Nathaniel L. Moore in National Interest, the H3N2 pandemic killed more individuals in the U.S. than the combined total number of American fatalities during both the Vietnam and Korean Wars.
Wow.
Well, see, that's because they weren't social distancing. They needed to just lock themselves inside their homes, destroy the economy, just to save a few lives.
And this event happened in the lifetimes of every American over 52 years of age. The author continues, I was 5 years old and have no memory of this at all. My mother vaguely remembers being careful and washing surfaces and encouraging her mom and dad to be careful. Otherwise, it's mostly forgotten today. Why is that? Nothing closed.
Right.
Schools stayed open. All businesses did too. You could go to the movies. You could go to bars and restaurants.
You could make a choice where you could take a risk if you wanted to.
That's
and
right.
if you wanted to stay home and be super clean and super paranoid, then you could do that too.
They had freedom.
Or more of it.
More of it anyway. So John Fund has a friend who reports having attended a Grateful Dead concert during this time. In fact, people have no memory or awareness of the famous Woodstock concert of August 1969, planned in January during the worst period of death that actually occurred during the deadly American flu pandemic that only peaked globally 6 months later.
Wait, so he says people don't have any memory of Woodstock?
No, they don't have any memory that Woodstock occurred in the midst of this pandemic.
Oh, I was going to say, I know there's probably a lot of people who don't remember a lot of Woodstock, but I mean, they just probably generally knew they were there.
If you remember Woodstock, you probably weren't there.
Right, yeah, that's a scientific fact. So perhaps there's a double entendre in his sentence there. It's hard to tell. But there was no thought given to the virus, which, like ours today, was dangerous, mainly for a non-concert-going demographic.
Right.
Stock markets, they didn't crash. Congress passed no legislation. The Federal Reserve, they did nothing. Not a single governor acted to enforce social distancing, curve flattening, even though hundreds of thousands of people were hospitalized. They did nothing to ban crowds. No mothers were arrested for taking their kids to other homes or parks. No surfers were arrested. No daycares were shut, even though there were more infant deaths with this virus than the one we're experiencing now. There were no suicides, no unemployment, no drug overdoses.
Wow.
Media covered the pandemic, but it never became a big issue.
Times have changed, haven't they? Because now, I mean, they're doing all kinds of insane crackdowns. The media is all over this, like it's nonstop round-the-clock coverage and fear, 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 because you get people afraid and they'll tune in through the next commercial break.
They have a nice little picture of the article that ran in the New York Times in, it looks like December 11th, 1968.
But I don't think the media knew, or the media today realized that there would be such economic destruction from the policies that they were helping promote, because they're going to have a tough time finding advertisers here.
Well, I mean, it's not really the media deciding what the media is going to broadcast anymore. They're more or less a government organ as far as I can tell. They're always all on the same page.
Sure.
As Bohan Panchevsky in the Wall Street Journal points out, in 1968 through 70, news outlets devoted cursory attention to the virus while training their lenses on other events such as the moon landing and the Vietnam War, and the cultural upheaval of the civil rights movements, student protests, and, of course, the sexual revolution.
That's all way more interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. and again, the part about nobody did anything. You know what I mean? They just, hey, it's a free country. You go about your business. If you want to, do some things yourself, you're free to do so. You want to wash some stuff down. You want to, be more sterile than you were before, whatever it is, you were free to do so. So the author continues, the only actions government took was to collect data, watch and wait, encourage testing and vaccines, and so on. The medical community took primary responsibility for the disease mitigation, as one might expect. It was widely assumed that diseases require medical, not political responses. And, I mean, this guy is just preaching up what I'm, trying to lay down.
Oh, yeah, he's good at that. He's a pretty principled guy.
I like him a bunch. It's not as if we had governments unwilling to intervene in other matters. We had the Vietnam War, social welfare, public housing, urban renewal, the rise of Medicare and Medicaid. We had a president swearing to cure all poverty, illiteracy, and disease. Government was as intrusive as it had ever been in history, but for some reason, there was no thought given to shut down in this pandemic. Which raises the question, why was this different?
Cowardice.
We'll be trying to figure this one out for decades.
Well, and I still don't think we have a real good answer as to why now, why this time, why this one, when even within the last 2 decades when technology was relatively, with it as compared to 1968. I mean, why did they choose this one? Well, I mean, certainly compared to 1968, they have a much more effective control grid in place, right? Everybody's got a phone, which is a personal tracking device. That is a huge factor here to being able to control the population. They've got drones now. Once again, on the front page at Drudge Report today, they're talking about drones monitoring people's temperatures from the skies.
They're already deployed.
That's a thing. Yeah. So there's a high level of technological kind of statism that exists today that didn't exist, 40, 50 years ago.
855-450 free like freedom. Why do you think the pandemic didn't cause everybody to shut down in 1968. We got more coming up. This is Free Talk Live.
Oh, so you're wearing a mask every day now? Where are you getting them?
The same website where I get my neck and body wraps, sunnybay.com. And they're handmade.
Really?
Just like their wraps in the USA.
Oh, and good quality?
Oh, very good. These are disposable face masks.
And good price?
That's the best part. I get a 10-pack for only $6.
Wow.
Yes, as a public service, we're now sourcing disposable face masks with level 1 protection at sunnybay.com. Get a 10-pack of high-quality, more breathable face masks, only $6. Our face masks are hypoallergenic, latex-free, and made for stress-free all-day wearing. Or choose our N95 respirator masks 2-pack for only $6. Supplies are limited, so place your order at sunny-bay.com, a Biomed DB design company right here in the USA. Go to sunny-bay.com and purchase your disposable face masks online. 10 masks for only $6. Just click sunny-bay.com. That's sunny-bay.com.
Attention gardeners, if you need to grow nutritionally dense vegetables or medicinal herbs this year, listen, because a bioactive superfood for plants is now available. This all-natural superfood for plants is so effective at producing maximum plant growth in minimum time that it almost forces plants to grow, even under the worst light and soil conditions. It's called Proto-Grow, and it's truly remarkable. Vegetables grow faster and contain more bioavailable vitamins and trace minerals. Plants that rarely bloom will flower constantly. Sickly plants become vibrantly alive. Medicinal herbs become super potent. Flowers become more vivid right before your very eyes. Proto-Grow also improves the taste quality of all your garden vegetables. That's because it's more than just an all-natural superfood for plants. It's a proprietary blend of bioactive sea nutrients that contain the basic building blocks of life itself, which is why Proto-Grow even renews your garden by increasing the microorganisms in the soil. Learn more at growlikecrazy.com. That's growlikecrazy.com. Get special pricing for network listeners right now at growlikecrazy.com.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
Are you tired of your taxes funding endless occupations around the world? Antiwar.com is run by people who understand that wars abroad become wars at home, wars on our freedoms. Antiwar.com is dedicated to bringing you the latest in news, views, interviews, and reviews from the top movers and shakers in the anti-occupation movement. Antiwar.com has it all, from thorough foreign policy analysis to interviews with whistleblowers who used to run the military-industrial complex. Anti-war, pro-free market. That's antiwar.com.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
Yes, it's Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. You can give us a call and talk about well, whatever you'd like to. Take control of the airwaves. In the studio tonight, it's
Ian.
And nobody.
And, of course, I am your host, the Reverend Captain Kickass. We were talking about this article written by Jeffrey Tucker from it's AIER.org, the American Institute for Economic Research, talking about the music festival known as Woodstock that occurred during a pandemic arguably more deadly than the COVID-19 pandemic now. But some differences between then and now where the government did nothing. They didn't mandate anything. Governors didn't shut any businesses down. People went to restaurants and bars. They were free to make their own choices about whatever one happened. And, of course, the media didn't get carried away and over-sensationalize the whole thing and create mass panic and fear.
But more people died, Captain. Don't you care about people dying?
Of course I do. I mean, it's important for people to die.
If people didn't die, the earth would be completely full.
It's the cycle of life. Everybody goes the same way, man. Nobody gets out alive. Everybody dies. It's just part of the cycle, man.
But it would be hilarious. Can you imagine how Genghis Khan would react to modern times?
I mean, the hubris of anybody to think that politicians can be smarter than Mother Nature when it comes to combating things like a virus. To me, that's just horse hockey. Hockey, I say. I have a much more stern term I'd like to use, but we're on the radio, so I got to use horse hockey, unfortunately. We'll talk more about the Woodstock pandemic, or the pandemic that was happening, the same year that Woodstock was going on. But first, let's go to your calls and your thoughts. We've got Gregg from Brooklyn, New York. He's listening to freetalklive.com. Gregg, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hey, Gregg, the resident techno-libertarian calling in. I wanted to talk about how the contact tracing frameworks for Google and Apple are shaping up.
Oh, God.
I've been doing some looking into that, Gregg. I actually brought in an article today for show prep that talks about a mandated contact tracing app in India. Apparently, India has made it mandatory that all folks get a cell phone and download and install this contact tracing app. But go ahead, tell us more about the contact tracing.
So in the UK, the contact tracing is being fed into a central database, and it turns out that a certain company is involved, a company called Palantir. This company has been around for over a decade. It's been selling essentially precog data to police departments and other things to see where they should police more for crime, and of course sells to governments for a lot of other things as well. I'm surprised also that who founded it was Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel often calls himself a libertarian. Peter Thiel was the first guy who wrote the first check to Facebook.
Oh, really?
Which is a company that also collects a lot of data.
Right. Now, I've read that the U.S. government, with regards to the COVID-19 virus, is already doing a form of contact tracing, just using the metadata, we'll call it pseudonymous metadata that they already have access to via things like cell towers and Google searches and any sort of anonymous location data that's out there available to like people who do marketing.
I thought Google was aggregating that data and publishing it.
Are they? Because
that was reported weeks ago.
Gregg, what say you?
Well, yeah, I think. Well, here's where I'm a little bit different. Where I would say without government, these corporations would totally just stockpile our data. Why not? I think we need to move past corporations. I think we need to have mesh networks and encrypt end-to-end encrypted communication with cell phones, but we can wire our Wi-Fi routers together. And in fact, many cities have done it. There's one in New York City. There's something called Wi-Fi in Spain. There's Freifunk in Germany. And I think that honestly, the people can put together their own wireless networks and solar panels and electricity generation. But that's going to happen. It's going to take a decade. Until then, we are relying on infrastructure that's built by Google, Facebook, AT&T, and all of these giant corporations.
Now, what's this one in New York that you're talking about? This is some sort of a mesh network? Where, how big is it?
There's two. There's NYC Mesh, and then there is a Red Hook Wi-Fi. Red Hook is a section of Brooklyn.
And is NYC Mesh does it have anything to do with the government, or is that actually independently funded?
No, I don't think it has anything to do. So the New York City government does, in fact, have much faster broadband than the cable companies, but it doesn't wire up your house. But if you could get on the New York City broadband, New York City Mesh is an actual mesh network.
Mm-hmm.
So the difference is that rather than going through a central company, right, your signal's kind of just going through a self-rebalancing sort of network of computers, which are run by individual people.
Okay. So have you logged in? I mean, have you actually utilized this network?
I have not. I'm mostly focused on building the software for these kinds of networks and, just having people host their own solutions. But in terms of like hardware, cell phone signals, electricity, I think that's where we're going. But as it is right now, I don't see how, like, without government, why wouldn't AT&T just have a massive database? Like, if they're providing cell phone service, right, they have all your data. Why would they just delete it?
Well,
you know what I mean?
For one thing, we'd have a lot more choices without government. So if companies started doing things like that and you didn't need a license to start a new one, you could just start a new one. Or so I think there would be a lot more choices available to you, and that would constrain corporate activity to some extent.
Right, because, I mean, we know that corporations are a creation of statism, right? They're legal fiction. Fiction's right in the name. And if government did not exist, corporations, as we know them currently, also would not exist. So the organization of people and businesses would not be under this pseudo, somewhat, monopoly-ish, or they wouldn't have any protections of government to prevent competition like they do now.
The government is the mother of all corporations. Indeed. It's also the 007 corporation with the license to kill.
Indeed. Indeed.
Well, I want to leave you guys with this question, and maybe you could discuss, is if there was no government and there were no corporations and we started from a decentralized society, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't they join, like organizations would join together into like larger, like Ma Bell, right? They would join into like a larger telephone network and a larger one, and eventually wouldn't it go right back without government to having a large conglomerate? And then what would you do if you start a new one? They would just buy you out, or they would compete with you like Rockefeller?
The evidence actually says the opposite. For example, if you look at the world of so-called illegal drugs, there are multiple competing drug cartels. But if you look at America, there's only one cartel. It's Big Pharma. And the reason is because the government not only provides the muscle to enforce their monopolies, it provides the muscle to mediate between the members. Who would enforce the property rights of corporations without government against their employees? It would be very easy for the employees to defect. And so I think that would tend to keep organizations a lot smaller.
Yeah, and keep in mind, too, Greg, that Ma Bell was a monopoly. It was the phone company. And we didn't get all sorts of innovation until it was broken up.
And that was an enforced monopoly also, that it was illegal, for example, to attach what they called foreign devices to the phone system. So if Ma Bell didn't make it, you couldn't use it.
Right. So the monopoly was enforced by government. Right. But you are correct, Greg. At some point, the government said, okay, well, we're going to tell you to break up now. But that was because at some point we had some people who liked the free market and said, oh, well, we can't have this monopoly over communications. And what happened when they broke up? Immediately, the first thing that happened was we got the long distance war. So a whole bunch of competition, new companies formed, right? People had far more choice. The cost of calling long distance came down.
We don't even pay for long distance anymore for the most part.
after that, we had cell phones, make the jump. Then we got smartphones. The internet, came about as a result of the elimination of the monopoly. So, we got innovation when the market became more free. So that's what
let
happened.
me just say this one last thing. My 2 cents, my perspective is competition is good.
Hurry up.
I like collaboration. I like Wikipedia, Linux, open
More
source.
coming up after this. Thanks.
Remember when you first heard about Bitcoin?
He did kind of get
How long did it take you to realize this little project would soon change the world? Do you kind of wish you had gotten involved sooner? Well, now is your chance to be part of the next revolution in money. Intercoin is working to finally make crypto go mainstream. It's designed to be scalable enough to support everyday payments and even elections without the state. Bitcoin was originally supposed to be a peer-to-peer cash system, the way we would all pay one another without having to trust any third party. But instead, over time, it mostly became a store of value. That's because every 10 minutes, the Bitcoin must put all transactions into a block, and that block can only hold so much. If crypto is to become mainstream, for everyone to use it in everyday payments, we need a new architecture, one that's as secure as Bitcoin while being far more scalable. Check out intercoin.org to find out more, and maybe pick up some of those coins for yourself.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and our main feed that includes everything. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,711, silver at $14.84, and Bitcoin is trading around $8,860. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/freekratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, newly released FBI documents suggest that Israeli government officials were in contact with the 2016 Trump presidential campaign and offered critical intel. According to Mint Press News, in one of the extensively redacted documents, an official who appears to be an Israeli minister warns that Trump was, quote, going to be defeated unless we intervene, end quote. He goes on to tell a Trump campaign official, quote, the key is in your hands, end quote. The previously classified documents were released in response to a lawsuit brought by the Associated Press, CNN, the New York Times, Politico, and the Washington Post. The unsealed documents suggest that, rather than Russia, it was Israel that covertly interfered in the election. While the media companies, except one, seem to have ignored the apparent Israeli connection revealed in the FBI documents, Israeli media have been quick to jump on it. Ever wonder where we find all the news to report right here on the Liberty Beat? Visit snls.news to get the world's most censored media published all in one place. Save yourself from the endless time spent searching for reliable alternative media. SNLS News makes it quick and easy. No ads, no clickbait, just raw headlines, 24 hours a day. Visit snls.news and get informed today without the corporate media spin. Your news now continues. A disturbing video began making its way around social media over the weekend after it showed a cop punching and attacking a man over an alleged social distancing violation. The New York Police Department cop has been placed on modified duty since the video went viral. The Free Thought Project reports the video showed a raging NYPD cop charging at bystanders on a Manhattan street with a taser in his hand. As the video shows, NYPD officers were involved in a violent arrest of a man and woman outside of a store. The police say the man was getting arrested for improperly social distancing. According to Pix 11, a group of people were standing on the corner of Avenue D and East 9th Street around 5:30 p.m. when officers told them to leave, according to an NYPD spokesperson. Most of the group complied, but some remained on the corner. When the remaining stragglers failed to disperse, that's when police became violent. As both countries prepare to start unwinding the strict nationwide lockdowns imposed more than 6 weeks ago, the UK and France are collaborating on a new voluntary surveillance app, purportedly designed to help with contact tracing for coronavirus patients. The Evening Standard reports ministers from both countries have been liaising on the development of the new technology, which is expected to be ready within 2 or 3 weeks. Activist Post asks, why are the two allies collaborating on building their own surveillance app instead of adopting a model proposed by Apple or Google? According to the report, apparently British officials felt Apple's treatment of user privacy was too cautious. The app will use Bluetooth to collect data from the phones of everybody one passes. Should one of them test positive, a user will be notified. Matthew Gould, head of the unit at the NHS that's in charge of developing the app, has said the location tracking feature would be opt-in. Support for the Liberty Beat is brought to you by the Homestead Guru. The Homestead Guru is an educational website offering tips, tools, news, stories, and commentary on everything homesteading. Topics include green homes, gardening, animal husbandry, do-it-yourself, home remedies, alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
The couple told reporters this week that they routinely urge their son Patrick to devote all of his time and resources to his improv comedy education.
We keep telling Patrick again and again that if you don't buckle down and start learning basic concepts like yes and the Herald now, nobody is going to take you seriously later in life.
He has to start thinking about this now.
The parents explained that he should try to get as much out of his improv training as possible by attending improv jams, forming a few indie teams, and doing as much bar prov as possible to keep himself warm for those upcoming Herald auditions.
The fact is, if Patrick were on stage with his fellow improvisers, and one of them were to play, say, a supervillain who's afraid of mice, Patrick wouldn't even be able to identify the game in that scene, let alone respond in a supportive way.
I gotta say, I had this internship at a law firm, but I quit to do a character workshop and a musical elective. I think this is really gonna pay off for me in the long run.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
He took my line again. He said Free Talk Live.
You can have it too.
Can I say it too? Free Talk Live. 855 450 free like freedom.
We don't believe in intellectual property. Anybody can say that.
What's the opposite of intellectual property? Unintellectual property?
I guess.
Not very smart property?
De-intellectual?
Anti-intellectual property?
Could be.
Interesting. 855-450-FREE is our phone number if you would like to give us a call and talk about, well, whatever's on your mind. This is Free Talk Live. You're welcome to do so.
We're intellectual. We're talking about Jeffrey Tucker. He's a smart guy.
Well, we have been, but we segued a little bit from our last caller, and he was talking about this contact tracing. And
oh, yeah. Creepy.
I did happen to bring this in, and we'll talk about that in just a second. But first, I wanted to tell you about Liberty.menu. For years, libertarians of all stripes have wanted a directory of liberty-minded businesses. Well, we're helping build one, Liberty.menu. Liberty.menu is a tool for your community. At its core, it's a directory for events, businesses, and digital content, and more. Listings can be rated and reviewed, and there's a bit of a social network to it, so you can connect and share with others. Use of Liberty.menu is exclusively for individuals who reject the initiation of force and those who agree to abide by the ethics of the non-aggression principle. Put your voluntarist ideas into action at Liberty.menu and use code FTL to get a special badge. That's Liberty.menu.
Yeah, I mean, this whole contact tracing thing, that's all these new age, or not new age, but
new tech.
Yeah, this terminology that's been coming out, this kind of Orwellian doublespeak terminology, social distancing.
The new normal.
Social distancing is anything but social.
Yep.
Right? Mm-hmm. Contact tracing, that's we're tracking you. Yeah. We're tracking you everywhere. Like 2 years ago, or Edward Snowden comes out, right? And people were rightfully upset finding out the invasiveness of what the federal government was doing. And now it's like, oh, yeah, we'd love to be told where we are and who's nearby and have the government monitoring this at all times. And they're starting this stuff. And I know we haven't even gotten into your story yet, but the stories I've seen about this, you're going to be covering what's happening in India. But the stories I've seen are like, well, okay, Apple's teaming up with Google. This is unprecedented. These companies are working together. They're teaming up to do contact tracing on all cell phones. But it's okay. It will be anonymous because you won't know
No, it won't.
where you won't know when the app tells you, Captain, you've been contacted. Someone has come into contact with you that has COVID-19. Well, it's supposedly not going to tell you who that person was or when it happened, in which case...
That sounds useless.
Why is it valuable? And they know, right? Like, so they know that in the back end, they know that, at this date and at this time on this street corner, somebody walked by you and they know exactly who it was. So why people aren't concerned about this, it just goes to show how far we've fallen from any concern for liberty or privacy.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And this type of technology, while it's new in its application towards stuff like COVID-19, for example, the seeds of this type of technology started with things like, the sexual predator databases, right? Anybody who's a registered sex offender, he's in a database, they know where they live and all that kind of stuff. Some of these guys, I have an article about that for another time, but some of these guys have to have an app on their phone now for, when they're on like parole and that kind of a thing. And, and so... and it works horribly, and it goes horribly for the people as well. But we're seeing more and more of governments, monkey see, monkey do. What one government does, another government will do. Mm-hmm. That whole social credit system that we saw in China, that's shades of this.
Mm-hmm.
So this article is from Gizmodo, and it is focused on India's mandated contact tracing app is an invasive and insecure mess. According to the article, no matter how you feel about contact tracing, it's been openly embraced by federal authorities around the world. And just for our listeners...
That's enough reason to be against it.
Yeah, just for our listeners who don't know what contact tracing is, we should probably explain that, right? So what it is it's tracking your movements so that the government arguably can tell whether you've bumped into somebody that may or may not be infected with, well, in this case, COVID-19. Is the impetus that they're using to implement this right now.
And they're suggesting that somehow that's information that's beneficial because then you could go get tested and see if you caught it, so on and so forth.
It's like 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon. So anyway, it's openly embraced by federal authorities around the world, from the UK to Germany to, well, you name it, as a way to curb the spread of the current pandemic. And while every country grapples with the...
But it won't curb the spread of it.
No, it won't. Every country grapples with the long-term privacy implications. Yeah, they even admit it.
They're not grappling.
Yeah, they're not grappling. They're just, yes, please, may we have it? Yes, sir, may I have another?
Well, some people are. We were out with a whole bunch of people who were grappling the other day. Not in the Firefly sense of the word.
Yeah. The downloading of this sort of tracking tech onto their phone, one country, India, has drawn more than a few raised eyebrows over the app, which is reportedly not only invasive, but quickly becoming a mandatory download for millions of people currently residing there. That's according to the new BuzzFeed News report about the app called Aragoya Setu, literally a bridge to health in Hindi. Per the report, Though Indian authorities initially offered citizens the opportunity to opt in voluntarily, it's quickly becoming a required download for gig workers and federal officials alike.
Surprise.
Yeah. You must. It's a must, not a may. Meanwhile, an independent analysis of the app by Gizmodo revealed that this increasingly mandatory app didn't only enable federal surveillance on a massive scale, but was a battery drainer that opened these devices to a buffet of hacks as well.
So it's crappy code as well.
It's crappy code because government, aren't software developers, and the software developers that are making this are, arguably sucking off the government teat because they're getting paid bank because they're making it for the government, et cetera, and so on. So this app initially rolled out in the start of last month and gained steam at a breakneck pace, reaching 50 million downloads in less than 2 weeks of its launch, with those numbers continuing to skyrocket as the month went on. Like many of the contact tracing apps we've seen internationally, the idea here was that people could download it voluntarily. Last month, India's Prime Minister sent out a tweet urging people to download the app, calling it an important step fighting a pandemic that claimed more than 1,000 lives across the country today.
In India, where
one of the most populated.
They have, what, 1 billion people there?
Yeah, they're definitely not.
So that's literally 1 in a million.
Not lacking for people. Since then, it looks like the country's stance on voluntary took a turn. This week, the app became a mandatory download for all central government officials in the region, following reports from the previous week that multiple startups are requiring similar downloads for their employees. My God.
Wow.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's the worst part about all this is the corporate mandates that are coming down on people, and we had 2 calls come in tonight from people who were frustrated by this, who did not want to wear. There was the gentleman in the dump truck, and the other guy that worked at a car dealership. Neither of them want to. They don't see any benefit in wearing a mask at their job. They would prefer not to, and that's why I said, just tell them you got a medical reason not to wear it, and that should end the conversation right there.
Yeah, it certainly should. And the fact that if you're alone in a truck driving, whether it's a dump truck or over the road or your own car, why would you want to wear a mask?
I see it happening all the time.
I do too. I see folks driving down the street with their masks on.
Although thankfully most people aren't driving around with masks on. And when I was in Walmart yesterday, it felt like the majority of the people in the store, the customers at least, did not have masks on. But that was just my impression.
I yelled at a guy in Walmart the other day. I was going in one door, and he wanted me to go in the other door, and I was just like, viruses don't care about that stuff.
Nice.
So you walked in the wrong door anyway?
No, I didn't, because they still have property rights.
Right.
But I just told him it was stupid.
Yep, I think it's important to say things. I mean, I don't think that those of us who think it's stupid should stay quiet. I think we should be kind, but also let people know that we don't appreciate it.
Yeah, and meanwhile, local sources have recently claimed that the federal officials are asking smartphone makers to pre-install the app onto devices.
Oh, boy.
Wow.
855-450 free. Like freedom, give us a call. Do you want a mandatory app installed on your cell phone to trace you?
There already are.
This is Free Talk Live. More coming up.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
Poor Sam was a mess. Always itching, licking. His paws were soaking wet. He had bald spots on his back. DINOVITE.com. 2 weeks after he started Dynamite, I started seeing great improvements, and today 99% of his issues are non-existent. Dynamite is nutrition. Dynamite is the best thing you can do for your dog.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
I get my Dynamite from DINOVITE.com.
Got shaving irritation? Shave Secret shaving oil can help stop it. Shave Secret doesn't cost much and is an all-American product. My name is Chuck Howard, and I developed Shave Secret and pioneered its use starting back in 1991. Ingrown hairs drove me nuts for years. Shaving oil changed all that. Why put up with ingrown hair, bumps, red rash, nicks, and cuts? Shave Secret provides men and women with what we believe is the best shave ever. Our proprietary blend of 100% natural base and essential oils plus a hint of menthol was designed to help eliminate shaving irritations like ingrown hairs, bumps, red rash, nicks, and cuts. We'll lose those shaving irritations. Available at Super Walmart, H-E-B, Wegmans, Giant Eagle, Discount Drug, Navy and Marine Exchanges, Amazon, and ShaveSecret.com. Use the code FTL for Free Talk Live and get a discount. Shave Secret, the best shave ever.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. What if you want to hear the latest episode of Free Talk Live, but all you have is your phone, you forgot to download our archive, and you have no data connection? You can call our Listen line at 641-793-0191. That's a long-distance number, so you may incur charges. If not, listen as long as you want. 641-793-0191. The Free Talk Live Listen line, 641-793-0191.
I'm a little obsessed with My Magic Mud. Several years ago, I met Jessica Armand, the founder and CEO of My Magic Mud, and I didn't even know my teeth were coffee stained. A week's worth of use convinced me, and now I use it every 3 or 4 days. It's clinically proven to whiten teeth, and I think it cleans better, too. My Magic Mud's available at most local health food stores, Sprouts, Natural Grocers, CVS, Walmart's Natural Beauty Aisle, but I can get it for you for 20% off with coupon code FTL20 at mymagicmud.com. FTL20 mymagicmud.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
And we're well into the third hour of tonight's live Monday night edition of Free Talk Live. Our toll-free number here is 855-450-3733. That's 855-450-FREE, as in freedom. And we'll be taking your calls and your thoughts in just a moment. But first, I wanted to tell you about ForkFest 2020. We've had some positive indications that this is still going to go on. Mm-hmm. Because it's a little far out yet as far as in terms of being...
Not that far. I mean, we're 2 months away.
Well, okay, 2 months away, but still. But you can join liberty-minded voluntarists, anarchists, and libertarians from June 29th until July 5th for ForkFest 2020 at Rogers Campground in the beautiful White Mountains of New Hampshire. And I just want to make it very clear to our listeners that the most important thing you can do is to reserve your spot.
Yep.
Right? Go to Rogers Campground's website. Reserve your spot because they're really counting on that to help make this happen.
They need to know that people are going to be there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. ForkFest happens the week after the Porcupine Freedom Festival, and ForkFest is decentralized, which means no one is in charge. It also means there's no ticket cost. Just reserve your camping, RV site, or motel room with Rogers Campground for June 29th until July 5th. Where better to celebrate Independence Day than around other freedom-loving activists in the Shire? I can't think of any place I'd rather be. You can simply relax and go camping with other liberty lovers, or you can create whatever experience or event you would like others to have. And I'm told that people will do some real creative stuff, so I'm looking forward to it. If you're planning an event for ForkFest, be sure to let others know in advance. You can connect with other ForkFesters via the unofficial Telegram chat or the ForkFest forum. Links to those are on the unofficial website, forkfest.party. That's forkfest.party. And we've been talking about this article from Gizmodo, where apparently in India, they're beginning to make a contact tracing app mandatory for at least government workers and some other industries. Now, the app requires an India-based phone number currently to function, so while the writers of the article over at Gizmodo were able to download the app,
they couldn't use it.
They weren't able to see the personal information it siphoned firsthand. But according to the India-based financial newspaper LiveMint, users are asked to offer basic information like age, gender, health status, and a brief travel history, along with being told to allow the app to access their location data at all times. The app also perma-flips the device's Bluetooth to constantly monitor their surroundings for other app downloaders and offers handy labels from low risk to high risk, depending on their proximity to someone that counted themselves as infected. Though we weren't able to try out the app, the APK, that's software speak, is essentially a package detailing the nuts and bolts of the Android app. It is freely available, meaning that we can browse the exact permissions the app asks the folks that download it. Aside from asking for access to the downloader's entire contact list, the app monitors their location at all times, even if it's running in the background.
That's kind of the point.
Aside from tracking this locale through the phone's internal GPS, the app also accesses what's known as the user's course location, which is pulled from data like Wi-Fi networks that they might be connected to at any given time. India is no stranger to federally funded surveillance tech, and the fact that this data is being funneled straight into the government's hands means that the location of millions will now be delivered straight into the already sprawling dossier India's government has on each and every citizen.
It's coming here soon, don't worry.
I know.
Soon. And again, they could have already had your information. I mean, it's not like this information was very difficult for the government to attain. Again, going back to Edward Snowden in 2013 now, I mean, more than half a decade ago, it was pretty obvious what he revealed was that the NSA could gather all kinds of info about you, whether legally or illegally. And if the government's doing something that's illegal, then it's rare that they're going to get caught for doing it. But in these cases, you're going to see that they're just going to legalize the things that they might have already been done illegally.
Sure. It's only illegal when you do them. It's not illegal when they do them. Right. Keep in mind that these are the same authorities that have in the past openly spoke about their right to freely snoop on the texts and calls on citizens' devices. This is also the same government that has been moving towards an increasingly disturbing form of Hindu nationalism that inflicts violence on its Muslim population. In other words, it's not the greatest environment for micro-targeted surveillance overreach to blossom.
Well, I mean, no environment is going to be good, and no government is going to be good with this information.
Yeah, agreed. And
they're not going to all of a sudden become trustworthy people just because they say that they're trying to help you. This is for we're keeping people safe here. I mean, we got to have access to all this data because of safety. It's totally violating your privacy, but who needs that anyway?
It's the same old chorus that we hear every time, the same thing that happened with 9/11. It's for your safety.
You know, if it just saves one life, Captain, shouldn't you just give up all your privacy? It could just save one life.
This app is the new version of, do you remember the terror threat level grid?
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
The alert level, the colors, right? Red, orange, yellow, green, and all that stuff.
It's probably still out there.
Yeah. So this is the app equivalent of that now. There's more on this article, and we can talk more. But first, let's get some of your calls and your thoughts on the matter. We're talking with Philip in Raleigh, North Carolina. He's listening to us on Twitch. Philip, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Yeah, what's going on?
Hey, Philip, what's going on?
Oh, not much, man. I was hearing how you were talking about the privacy things about, apps and data requests for your safety, and it really is kind of scary.
Yeah, I know. It's more scary to me than the coronavirus. That's for sure.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, the even things like Discord and Twitter have a high risk to collect your data, and they track you. And it really is kind of scary. I was looking at this one app on the App Store. I forgot the name of it.
What does it do?
But essentially, the function is that with the app, you can slingshot niggers into orbit. Nigger.
You gotta stop.
Oh,
Man.
Nigger.
Yep. You're way too late on that one, I think.
I hit it twice.
Yeah. You got to be ready with the Twitch callers. I mean, they're almost guaranteed to do that.
Yep. That's my bad. Well,
isn't that special?
Yeah.
Well, there's got to be a moron in every crowd.
Sure does.
That was ours for tonight.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So moving right along, more on the article.
Is it really going to tell us something we don't already know?
Well, I don't know. Let's find out. It causes the massive battery drain, obviously, because the Bluetooth is, permanently on, opens folks up to more hacks. There's all sorts of reasons that contact tracing is unlikely to be the magic bullet some federal authorities are hoping for, and lack of adoption is certainly a concern. Mandating the download of an invasive, insecure app might halt the virus's spread to some degree, but it's far more likely to get the people snooped on or hacked and even spammed. And when governments insist on ignoring proper security measures, it makes everyone wary of the most ethical of apps.
Or even spammed, like that's the worst thing they mention.
Indeed. 855 450 free like freedom. We'll take your calls and your thoughts, and we've got more coming up. This is Free Talk Live.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit divvyproject.org. divvyproject.org.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
There are basically two types of advertising: direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
Welcome back to Free Talk Live, the live Monday night edition, where we got about another half hour or so left, and we've got time for your calls and your thoughts. Our toll-free number is 855-450-3733. That's 855-450-3733. With you tonight in the studio, it's
Ian.
And nobody.
And myself, the Reverend Captain Kickass. And I want to just take a minute and say thank you to Joe. Joe is a gold level amplifier for the Free Talk Live show. What that means is that Joe makes a donation every month to this particular program because he wants to see the ideas and things that we talk about here, the ideas of freedom, our perspective, get on more radio stations. And you can help with that too over at amp.freetalklive.com. There's some benefits to doing the amplification process, if you will. There's some, secret club places where you can go online. And there's some other little perks that you can find out more about over at amp.freetalklive.com. But if you like this program, you like what we do, you like the perspective of freedom, and you want to help us get on more radio stations, you can do that and help us out over at amp.freetalklive.com. So thank you very much, Joe, for being a gold level amplifier. We really appreciate it. So, Ian, you said that you had something tonight for show prep about some snitcheroonies, some snitchels?
Yeah, so there's a little bit of good news, and that is...
Did the snitches get ditches?
Or stitches?
I don't know if it's gone that far yet.
Are they little bitches? Did they get stitches?
They are definitely little bitches, but I don't know if it has gone to the point of retaliation against their snitching. But the story from the Daily Mail in the UK is that more than 900 Missouri residents who snitched out lockdown rule breakers are fearing retaliation after their details have been leaked online.
Yeah. So people who went to these government websites to report their families, friends, neighbors for violating some sort of social distancing thing that they didn't like, they somehow got their information leaked?
They did.
Well, that's a thing it's a thing to celebrate because snitches should fear.
Hundreds of people have been exposed for reporting people who flouted social distancing rules, and some are now scared they could receive a backlash. The names and addresses of approximately 900 people in Missouri were released as part of a media request under the Sunshine Law, which allows for the release of information submitted to a public agency. Oh, interesting.
That's why they call it the Show Me State.
So this isn't actually, like, I figured this was like some good hackers that went in and hacked a database.
Is that like using FOIA?
The state snitched the snitches.
That's right. It's a Freedom of Information Act request in Missouri.
In communist Missouri, the state snitches you out.
In St. Louis County, they'd urged the community to share details of anyone not following guidelines in response to the coronavirus pandemic and noted in the terms and conditions that the information may be shared publicly because... You know nobody reads the terms and conditions, right?
No, I don't.
However, some people may not have read the small print, submitted tips via an online form and email form from the end of March. Many had asked for their communications to remain private. Still, the documents published online ended up being shared on social media, and one man, Jared Toch, helped spread it further as he posted it in a Facebook group. Quote, "Here you go, the gallery of snitches, busybodies, and employees who rat out their own neighbors and employers over the panic-demic."
There must be a lot of very upset people named Karen in Missouri right now.
The complaints resulted in 29 businesses receiving citations in April, and now people are worried they may get fired as a result of reporting the company they work for, or that other people may retaliate, and I hope they do.
Yeah, no doubt. You're trying to shut the company you work for down. You need to be fired.
Quote, "I'm not only worried about COVID, I'm worried about someone showing up at my door, showing up at my workplace, or getting me fired for doing what is right," said a tipster named Patricia.
Hey, you know what? No, that's not doing
She's
what's
lying.
right.
Her name's Karen.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Snitching on people is not doing what's right.
It's true.
Quote, "When there's something that happens next time, I'm not going to feel safe or protected enough to call the local authorities."
Mission accomplished.
Surprise, lady, you can't trust your government.
Yeah.
What a shock.
Patricia,
Wait till you find out the whole thing is a fraud.
Patricia has lupus, and 2 other people in her household have autoimmune diseases, which put them at high risk of getting seriously ill or dying if they contract coronavirus.
Patricia, I just want to tell you, if you're listening, that the government has itself ruled time and time again that it has no responsibility, no duty to protect you at all on any level. That's military, that's police. It has no responsibility, no duty to protect you at all, period.
The only thing they protect is the politicians and the corporations.
Yep.
Patricia went on to say, "We live in a society where doing what's right doesn't always get rewarded. We have to be extra careful because we don't have the strength to fight this. I saw a lot of businesses that were non-essential that were open and had lines outside, parking lots filled, as if the order didn't matter to them, and that was kind of frustrating." So she snitched
maybe
them
you
all.
should go hide in a cave somewhere, Patricia, if you're so afraid.
Patricia, who didn't want her last name mentioned, said in a video
What's
interview.
her last name?
It doesn't say. Said in a
we
video
should
interview.
look at the at that printout and find out
that she believes the personal information should have been redacted, and then they go on to talk about the number of cases and so on and so forth.
Yeah, Patricia, you're a sad excuse for a human.
Thanks to whoever it was that filed the Freedom of Information Act request. In this particular case.
I do occasionally enjoy when it's possible to, do something creative like that, to use the system against itself.
It was apparently this Jared Toch guy, so to give him credit where credit's due, he said, quote, "If they're worried about retaliation, they should have read the fine print, which stated their tips would be open public record, subject to a sunshine request, and should not have submitted the tips in that manner to begin with." He said, "I released the info in an attempt to discourage such behavior in the future." Asked how he felt about someone possibly losing their job because their email was published, Toch was under the impression it would be deserved. Quote, "I'd call it poetic justice, instant karma, a dose of their own medicine. What goes around comes around. They're now experiencing the same pain that they themselves helped to inflict on those they filed complaints against."
If any of you know Jared Toch, please buy him a beer for me. I'm happy to reimburse you.
Yeah.
Yep. So there you go.
Jared Toch, thank you for your service. All
Kudos.
Right. Well, let's go to some of your calls and your thoughts. We've got Jet calling from the USH. And if my memory is correct, I invented that term on Saturday. That is the United States of Hysteria.
Nice.
Jet, what's on your mind?
That's right. That's why I use that. I'm sorry I didn't call in earlier. I keep forgetting. I was out mowing the stupid lawn.
We've been waiting for you.
Yeah.
You've just been
I know.
sitting here
I've been
silent.
wanting to play. I've been wanting to play the game. Let's play Say No Gov. Anyway, do that thing. Maybe next week.
What's on your mind
But
tonight?
I wanted to talk today about borders and kings. I'm hoping that this whole thing will help people understand the stupidity of these things we call borders and the governors of those borders, things like that, because it's just so silly about how one is opening, one is closing, one is doing this, one is prohibiting that, one is saying okay. I mean, people should start to realize, I think, that that these crazy people, these so-called, I don't know, tyrants, what do you want to call them, are just other people.
Mm-hmm.
But what I wanted to really talk about was to ask your listeners, how does your neighbor become king? In other words, they decide, that they're going to get some signatures and get on a ballot and then get voted for, and maybe 15% of all people, around them actually voted for this person.
I'm your king.
That's what
I didn't vote for you.
That's what I'd love to hear, what people think, because everyone seems to just want to bow down to these people.
Yeah, it's a sad state of affairs, and we thank you for the call, Jet. It is interesting how when people do become these political rulers, how few people actually, have voted them into power. More coming up. This is Free Talk Live.
Houseflies defecate every 4 to 5 minutes, spreading diseases and germs. Protect your food and your health with Bug Assault, a miniaturized shotgun which utilizes ordinary table salt as ammunition. Non-toxic, no batteries required. Only $39.95. Use discount code GCN and get an extra 10% off your purchase at bugassault.com. Fire your fly swatter. Get your Bug Assault today.
Now, with orders to stay at home, public health concerns, the reality of illness due to pathogens and viruses, your health is at an all-time high risk. That's why it's critical to take a proactive approach to boost your immune system. You can with new nano-colloidal silver from Americare, our patented process with tiny silver particles, 1/100th the size of a red blood cell, allows for maximum body absorption. Americare's nano-colloidal silver effectively disinfects your body internally, attacking pathogens and viruses while supercharging your immune system. Colloidal silver is antibacterial and antiviral. Simply put, it prohibits bacterial respiration, suffocating viral cells, preventing the virus from replicating. And now, due to public health concern, Americare is authorized to offer our lowest and best price ever, around $1 a day, but supplies are limited. Purchase nano-colloidal silver now at immunesupportnow.com. That's immunesupportnow.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Supplies are limited.
Hi, I'm Dan Pilla. I started fighting the IRS over 40 years ago when they tried to seize my mother's house. I sued the IRS and won. I beat the IRS then, and I've been beating them ever since. I wrote the book on tax debt settlement, and I've helped thousands of people deal with tax problems they thought might never be solved. I can help you too. If you owe taxes you can't pay, don't wait another day. There's no such thing as a hopeless tax case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX or go to my website, danpilla.com. That's danpilla.com, danpilla.com.
Terror and confusion fell upon the nation this week after nearly 314 million Americans reported inexplicably losing consciousness for 8 hours straight last night, with countless victims helplessly recovering from the fugue-like state with no memory whatsoever of the lost time. Researchers at Princeton University, who have been studying the alarming phenomenon since its inception, told reporters that though they were unable to ascertain the source of the sweeping condition, it appeared to be somehow linked to the setting of the sun.
Right now, we suspect that there may be some connection between these sudden blackouts and the visions that some Americans have reported experiencing while they were unconscious. But most of these hallucinations are too abstract for us to draw any definite conclusions from.
At this time, we urge people to never turn off their lights and under no circumstances close their eyes for any extended period of... Oh, God. Oh, it's happening again.
This is the Onion News Network.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
Heading into the final segment of the live Monday night version of Free Talk Live, the live call-in radio program where you can take control of the airwaves and talk about, well, whatever you'd like to talk about. Our toll-free number here is 855-450-3733. That's 855-450-FREE, as in freedom. And that's the perspective that we try and keep. If we have an agenda here at Free Talk Live, it's all about freedom. And what it takes to achieve it, how do you get it, how do you know when you have it, how do you know when you've lost it, and what goes on in the world that makes that go round or otherwise disappear. With you tonight, it's myself, the captain.
It's Ian.
And nobody.
And Ian, you said you had another bit for show prep about some business owners and how they get screwed out of their freedom.
Well, I mean, not specifically their freedom, but because they chose to enter into an agreement with the government in this particular case. So this is more of like a I
Deal
told
with
you
the
so.
devil.
Yeah, this is an I told you so moment where we could have predicted this story was going to come at some point when the government gang, the federal gang was announcing, we got all this free money. It's free forgivable loans. You just do what we say with the loans and then it'll all be forgiven.
Sign this paperwork right here.
Right. And so there were actually people who, and I don't remember who they were, but people like within our sphere, who were talking about, well, free money from the government. Why shouldn't we take it? And while I'm not opposed on principle, like I agree with what nobody has said previously. Like if the government's going to give you some money and it's no big deal to take it, then there's nothing inherently wrong with you taking it. It's your money anyway that they stole from you in the beginning, and they are a criminal gang, and they're going to give it to somebody, whether it be people making bombs that explode over innocent people in the Middle East, or it goes into your bank account. So I don't blame somebody for doing this. And with the money that just showed up in somebody's bank account for the $1,200, well, there was no agreement with that, so no big deal. But with a loan, you are specifically asking them, you're coming to the government and saying, I'd like some of that.
Yep.
And then they're going to say, well, here you go. You can have it, but you got to do A, B, C, X, Y, and Z in order to make sure you can get it forgiven.
Terms and conditions may apply.
And I said, a few weeks ago, you don't want to get into bed with the devil. It's not going to be a fun time.
There are some ways that I would like to. For example, one of the things on my bucket list is to get a loan from the National Endowment for the Arts so that I can write a book called You Dumb Bastards about how the National Endowment for the Arts shouldn't have given me the money.
That is artistic.
So just a couple of examples here from a story published in the New York Times. When a $192,000 loan from the federal government's small business aid program arrived in his bank account last month, George Evangelou, the founder of a custom woodworking company, felt like one of the lucky ones. Under the program's rules, Mr. Evangelou has 8 weeks from the day he received the cash to spend it. But nearly 3 weeks after the clock started...
There was a clock on how fast you had to spend it?
Get ready. There's rules attached to this money.
It's supposed to be a spending stimulus.
But nearly 3 weeks after the clock started for him on April 14th, he hasn't used a penny. His quandary? If Mr. Evangelou wants the loan to be forgiven, he must spend 3/4 of it paying the 16 workers he laid off from his business, Urban Homecraft, in Brooklyn in late March.
That sounds like a great investment.
But bringing his workers back now, when they can't work in their fabrication shop or install woodwork in their clients' homes, won't help his business. And if New York City remains shut when his 8 weeks are up in mid-June, Mr. Evangelou would have to lay off his employees again, something he wants to spare them.
Right.
The government, quote, has made this so hard to use, he said. It starts to feel like a lose-lose situation, unquote.
Oh, no. Government activities are always win-lose. They win, you lose.
Yep.
The $660 billion Paycheck Protection Program was meant to extend a lifeline to small businesses battered by the pandemic, allowing them to keep employees on the payroll. But it has been dogged by problems. Countless small businesses couldn't get money, and hundreds of millions of dollars instead flowed to publicly traded companies. By the way, a few of whom made major headlines by giving back the money that they received.
Yeah.
And like the steak, you see the Steak Shack or whatever, Shake Shack stories. God, can you imagine how little advertising they could have bought for the $10 million that they gave back? Instead, they just gave back this $10 million and probably got hundreds of millions of dollars worth of advertising from it.
But
Now,
are they open?
Presumably, if they're
for
restaurant,
to go or
then,
carry out.
Now, many of the small businesses that did get loans are sitting on the money, unsure about whether and how to spend it. That's compromising the effectiveness of a program meant to help stabilize the country's reeling economy. Some owners don't see the point of hiring back workers when business is so slow. Others chafe at having to use the money within 8 weeks when they would like to keep the financial cushion for longer. And many of the owners are confused about whether they have any flexibility. They would rather use the cash to retool their operations for an altered world or buy protective equipment for the workers, but the rules require them to spend it on specific expenses like payroll. Owners also say they're afraid of running afoul of the program's rules, which are complicated. No. Really?
I can't imagine.
Ambiguous. And still evolving. Accountants, lawyers, and lenders are struggling to understand the nuances in offering clients tentative guidance.
Wait, so people have taken these loans, and the rules surrounding the loans about what they can and can't do, when they can and can't do it, are still being written?
They don't understand them, number one. Lawyers and accountants are still trying to figure it out, so like they don't really know what they're doing. It's chaos, said Howard Burkauer, a New York lawyer who advises his corporate clients. He said, quote, "It's impossible for businesses to have any degree of comfort that they're following the rules when the rules are still being written." And this goes back to what I said before. You get into bed with these people. Don't be surprised if they change the rules on you, even if you do your best to jump through all the arbitrary hoops that they put up.
There are people who benefit from interacting with government, but as George Carlin said, it's a great big club, but you're not in it, and you never will be.
The $2 trillion CARES Act, isn't that a great acronym? They care about you.
It's a horrible acronym, and generally when governments use acronyms that sound like that, they mean the opposite.
Out. Yeah, Patriot Act. Remember that one?
The most unpatriotic thing ever.
Which created the program specifies that small businesses, generally those with fewer than 500 employees, can use the loan money to pay employees, but also for rent, utilities, or interest payments. The loans will be forgiven, they claim, if they are spent on those expenses within 8 weeks, and the business keeps paying the same number of employees at the same rate as it did before the pandemic. The Treasury Department and Small Business Administration, however, added a restriction. For a loan to be forgivable, businesses have to spend at least 75% of it on payroll. Otherwise, the rules say the borrower will pay interest of 1% on any portion of the loan that is not forgiven.
So if you make an error and you give 74% of it to your employees, guess what? You've got all that debt. You gave the money away. And now you have to pay for it.
And
great plan.
And the government took that money from you in the form of taxation.
Yeah, sure.
And now is loaning it back to you. And if you don't follow their specific guidelines, they're going to tax you again on the money that they've already.
And people don't understand why we need AR-15s. This is why we need AR-15s.
So your business can then go under, as it probably would have anyway. And now you'll still, be on the hook for $100 and however many $1,000.
Yeah, and 1% or more.
So what's unclear is what happens if borrowers keep all the money as a loan to be used later, or if they must spend the entire sum within 8 weeks, with an economic turnaround perhaps months away. Take Jody Burns, the owner of Blazin' Fresh Donuts in Guilford, Connecticut. Ms. Burns could use the loan she got, an amount under $50,000, to hire back her 8 employees, but she'd be paying most of them to stay home since the bakery's only open 12 hours a week these days. She would prefer to hold on to the cash beyond the 8 weeks. Her hope is it becomes a low-interest loan that she can use for payroll and rent when her shop is open longer. But she doesn't know whether she can do that. She's called the local SBA office, the government that gave her the loan, the Small Business Advisory Organizations, a law firm, and her lender to ask for guidance. But no one has given her any assurances. And if they do, it's not in writing anyway. Moreover, having signed documents requiring her to use the funds for purposes allowed under the Paycheck Program's rules, Ms. Burns is nervous about misusing them. She says, I don't accidentally want to commit bank fraud, she said. So how many of these business owners are going to screw up whatever these arbitrary rules are and end up facing criminal charges?
It's government. Here, have some.
You wanted their money. You get their rules.
Well, we're out of time for today. Thanks for everybody for tuning in. Thanks to all of our callers.
Just say no to government.
Nobody. Thanks to you guys. We're here 7 days a week. Yeah, visit electnobody.com, freetalklive.com, and lcaptainkickass.com. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.
Remember when you first heard about Bitcoin? How long did it take you to realize this little project would soon change the world? Do you kind of wish you had got involved sooner? Well, now is your chance to be a part of the next revolution in money. Intercoin is working to find